Well, everybody, we did it. We started yet another D&D session. We made it. I don't know how, but we managed to overcome our incredible difficulties. That being said, we are beginning our second session 1 for this West Marches styled D&D Strixhaven campaign. And short, West Marches styled means that we actually have 12 players, but between 4 to 5 players will be active at a time. They will be going through adventures together, sometimes intermingling with one another, or playing with different people than they did before, and doing all sorts of other fun things and activities. In short, they'll be getting plot hooks between the sessions, and they plan their adventures as well as set the times for their campaign settings. So please be aware that our schedule will change from day to day, week to week, etc. But today we will be joined by 4 new adventurers. Allow me a moment to introduce them, starting from the top of my chat. Alan, who will be playing Goober. How are you?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Glad to have you here.
Oh, I can't wait to play. You have no idea.
I have a feeling. A very frustrating start for your day, I'm sure. But we're happy that you made it and we're good to go. All right. Lee. Welcome to the show. Lee will be playing Tayley Tolley. A very eccentric character, I'm sure. Lee, how you doing?
Wonderful, and you?
I'm doing fantastic. Good to have you here today.
Happy to be here.
All right. Next up is, of course, my beautiful wife, Miss Tanantha, who will be playing Kira.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Excited to start playing.
Me too. I am thrilled with this group. This group composition is going to be a little fun. And then naturally, certainly, last but not least, your name also starts with a V. I'm noticing a pattern here. The last person introduced their name starts with a V. Valaris, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good.
Fantastic. Well, because we had a late start, I am trying to keep our playtime down a little bit. But a brief synopsis of what's going on, instead of reading the full plot hook and story like I did last night, I will briefly introduce you to what's going on. And luckily, orientation kind of fills in the gaps a little bit. But during the previous 4 years, there was a group of adventurers who tracked down a dark conspiracy on campus revolving around Valentine, the Dean of the Vein. And eventually they uncovered a plot where he was using students as sources of mana, killing them in the process in experiments for a reason that is still yet unknown. He was trying to amass power, take over the school, but we don't know exactly why. In any case, he was defeated by Draven Crift and his band of merry adventurers, and those adventurers are now the stuff of legends. Everybody talks about them, they look up about them, you can probably hear song about them and things like that. It's they're folk heroes in their own right. Meanwhile, stuff going on at Strixhaven is Strixhaven's in a very, very desperate situation. The realms are beginning to question whether or not they should continue their investments into the school, and there still seems to be many other plots unfolding on the campus. After all, if a dean of the institution could so easily kidnap students, hold them against their will, and sacrifice them in the name of his experiments, what other adventures could our students embark upon? What else is going on? And that is the quick and very, very down and dirty version of that plot hook. My apologies for not reading the whole thing, but we are running on a tight schedule today. All right, that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into our adventure. And naturally, in my scatterbrained mind, I had failed to log into my Tailspire software, so forgive me while I take a moment to make this transition very subtly. All right, always breaking things. It's true. I blame Goober for all of our problems. Okay, guys. So at the beginning of our session 1s, we have been doing brief one-on-one with our characters in order for them to have an opportunity to introduce themselves. Now, Alan, you're a bit of a special case, so I'm going to allow you to introduce your character first.
Oh, okay. Well, so this what happened. One day Goober's big boss was like, Goober, you and them other goblins go to this place and steal all the shiny things, and Goober not want to get beat up. So Goober go. And when Goober get there, find out that, well, this place not look like it look like someone lived there. There's no dust, and the fires are lit, and Goober's like, we should not be here, we should go. And all the other goblins didn't pay no attention to Goober, but Goober kept trying to stop him, and it not work. Then Goober see this one reach up on the altar and try take big shiny. And Goober said, no, don't, and push a hand away. And when push a hand away, then Goober got beated up. They all punched the Goober, and they kept punching the Goober, and Goober hurt it all over, and Goober lay on the floor and was crying, and because Goober hurt it all over. Then the goblin go and touch the shiny thing, and then there's a bright white. And then after bright white, oh, goblin is gone, except for Goober. And then pretty lady Goober ever see. And this lady reached down to Goober, and Goober tried to get away, because big people are mean to goblins. But she not mean to Goober. She touched Goober, and Goober get heals. And then Goober stand up, and she say to Goober, Goober, you very strange, but I like you. Do you want to be my special friend? And Goober shake head up and down so hard hurt neck. And then she says, okay, I want you to do something for me. And Goober say, okay, what you want me to? She says, I want you to point your finger at the bench. And Goober point the finger at the bench. And she said, concentrate like you want to hit it from over here. And Goober concentrate real hard. Arms are shaking. But nothing happened. And then she said, now Goober, you say something about a sound that it make when you hit something. So Goober, first word that came to Goober's head was boom! And then big flash of light come out of Goober's finger and blowed up the bench. And then Goober look at his finger because he's never done that before. She says, now, I'm going to send you somewhere. And when I send you there, all I need you to do is be self. And Goober not know how to do anything else. And then there's another big flash of white. And then now Goober in this place he never been to before. Got the things on his back he never had before. And there's all these big peoples around. And this is now like the second time and single day that Goober think this is a bad idea. And that's how Goober got here.
So, a bit more than I expected, but I enjoyed every second of it. In any case, that's Goober. And normally I would do a one-on-one session to introduce our players, but in this particular case, no. Goober, you did a fantastic job, and we will pick up with you here in a little bit.
Goober, just stay over here confused then.
Now we will go ahead and travel not too far from the central park of Strixhaven. We're going to venture forth to the teachers' residences on the southwest side of Strixhaven Central Campus. And there we find, packing up her things in her room, getting ready for school, Kira Wiles. Tanantha, can you please briefly introduce us to Kira?
All right, so Kira is an Aasimar from the world of Pangaea, where Strixhaven currently resides. And she is the last of her family. Her town was destroyed when she was 12 years old. And she was found by, I forgot their names, by Thomas and Eliana Wiles. Yeah, by Thomas and Eliana Wiles. I got my notes here. I just click on it.
Good.
Yeah, so she was found by Thomas and Eliana Wiles. They were out in the world there researching and found her among all the rubble in the town and adopted her. And so I've been living with them since I was 12 years old, going to school with their biological son, Matthias. He's the same age as me. And I had no idea there were other worlds. Had no idea there were other people or realms or that kind of thing. And so I'm taking it all in, still learning. And any history book I can get my hands on is great. I'm all about learning the history of other lands and trying to resolve the conflict that is going on in Pangaea. Find a resolution for that.
All right. We'll learn more about Pangaea later on in the session. But in the meantime, you're in your room. The door's closed and everything. But unlike many of our other compatriots, no one comes to knocking. But instead you hear, Kira! Kira! You're gonna be late! Matthias has already left! It's the voice of your mother, Eliana.
I'm coming, Mother. I'm almost done.
Well, you better hurry up, because we're not gonna be late, I'll tell you that!
All right, I'm coming. Pick up my stuff and hastily throw everything in a pack and put it on my back and run out the door.
Okay, so you run out your bedroom door, and you come down into a bit of the foyer of the residence, and there's Thomas and Eliana. They're packed, ready to go. They look like, you could tell, like, this is business. This is business for them. They're used to this routine. They go to the school every day as teachers, and your parents kind of look at you, and they beam proudly for a moment there and go, all right, well, you finally get to see what it is we do. Are you excited? That's Thomas saying.
Yes, but a little nervous. I don't know how everyone's going to accept me, and, being the only ASMR, it's a little nerve-wracking. I don't like being stared at, but as long as I have a good book to read, I should be okay.
Well, let me tell you something, Thomas says. He goes, like, there are so many people who come to Strixhaven. The mathematical probabilities that even anybody even recognizes that you're a little different is pretty, subpar. There's very few people would really even know that you're, from here. Probably very unlikely.
So there's other people that have wings?
Owlin have wings.
That's not what I mean. I mean, I look human, but I have these wings, and that's what draws people's attention to me.
Well, this time around, you're not being introduced as your brother's show and tell project, okay?
True.
Yeah?
But people still stare.
Well, your wings are very beautiful. And they are. They're nice, broad, shimmering white wings. Very, very, very eye-catching, that is for sure. And he kind of sighs and goes, hey, if it makes you feel any better, I hear that we have a student here who's going to be attending this year. He is a little small pint, 2.5 feet tall or so. They call his people Lalafels. We've never really had Lalafels at the campus before. So you're not going to be the only oddball. If it makes you feel any better, maybe you might find him and meet him. Probably somebody who you can get along with. And you could be weird together.
He's not going to stand out in a crowd if he's short.
He sighs briefly and goes, I have a feeling, based on the report that I read, he'll find a way.
If you say so.
In any case, it's time we get along. Your mother, Eliana, says, now, Kira, I don't expect any trouble from you, or your brother than anything, but do try to stay out of trouble. The campus is a bit under tighter guard and scrutiny these days,
I understand.
All right. Well, we'll walk you as far as the main road, but from there, Strixhaven tradition that you carry on from there on your own and take your first walk to the Biblioplex, just like we talked about, remember?
Yes.
All right. And so with
I
that,
grab both of their hands.
aww, they take you in, as soon as you do that, they just give you a big group hug. The three of you, they're just so happy and proud of their daughter.
I'm
going to
holding their
school.
hands more for emotional support than anything.
That's really good. Oh gosh. Yes, they take you in for a hug immediately and say, okay. The hugs resume. Yeah, did Goober get a hug?
Nobody loves Goober.
Oh no. So unfortunately, we have one character who has not had a hug. Hugs for everyone, unfortunately. It's not true anymore. All right. That being said, they escort you to the road, and a lot of other students are there. Matthias is long gone. He left. He was really eager to go to the Biblioplex. Who knows what he's up to? But he's somewhere around the campus, probably doing his own thing. And your parents look at you and go, "All right, well, just follow the main road there to the Biblioplex. You should know where to go and where to be. Just past the Hall of the Oracles, you'll find the stage, the amphitheater, and an orientation will begin there. And you'll be staying at the dorms from now on. Not here at the residences, okay?
Yep.
All right, but you're always welcome to come and visit for the weekends.
Okay.
All right. Well, off you go, sweetie," says Thomas.
All right. Have a good day at work.
Bye, have a good time. They're like your typical, like, nuclear family situation happening here, and they're just so happy and excited to see their daughter go off to school. And you know, she has a very special story, and they're so proud of her, and off she goes. All right, we now draw our attention to the distant realm of Dominaria. In the plane of Dominaria, there was a long and tiresome war. However, the plane's greatest threat, the dragon Nicol Bolas, has disappeared and is assumed dead. The vacuum of power that remains to be filled has led to strife and war, conquest for a time immemorial. And that is where we meet Ardbert. Ardbert.
Oh.
Please, introduce your character to us.
Ardbert is an Owlin from the plane of Dominaria, where originally the Strixhaven universe is set in the Magic the Gathering realm. He, as a son of a local lord in Dominaria, not a very big one, is being sent to school in order to work on his abilities to speak better with people, try to become more politically inclined, and try to eventually create a happier, safer Dominaria that is free of the tyrannical dictatorship of the dragon that they've known since forever, basically, because he ruled Dominaria for millennia on millennia. So he's here trying to go ahead and help fix things.
All right. So we'll pick up at, not exactly sure what to call this place, but it's an interdimensional realm. We know Strixhaven's in an interdimensional realm. We have people from many different realms coming to this campus. Our interpretation is that all multiverses and realms were on the table for our characters to create from, but this one's definitely more traditional to the Magic the Gathering background setting. So I would imagine there's a nexus in which you can transcend the realities and go to a different realm. And that is where we're going to pick up from. And your father is there, Hudimus Silverflock, to see you off before you cross over to Pangaea. And you guys are kind of standing there at the terminus, and you see a couple different people shuffling back and forth, and there's people going to and from different realms. And Hudimus looks over at you, and he just says, "Well, this will be it, I suppose."
Indeed, Father. I shall miss you.
I want you to know that this kind of opportunity was never been afforded any our kind. This is something new, special. An opportunity to learn. To actually believe you can lead. To make more prosperous times. We have been robbed of that for millennia.
I'll do you proud, Father. I promise.
You carry more than your own aspirations upon your shoulders, Ardbirth, and though I wish I could do something more for you, to lighten your burden, I fail to conceive an alternative. But Strixhaven is a school of exceptional reputation and renown. Come back to us with the knowledge and wisdom of realms beyond our own. Show our people a better way.
I shall do my best, Father. I shall not tarry in my studies, and I shall ensure that I come back home to bring Dominaria to the place that we wish it to be.
Very well. He lets out a heavy sigh, his long winged feathers hanging very low on his sides. He is not really quite sure how to express himself, but he says, Ardbirth, I'm going to miss you these next couple of years. Do come back to visit.
I shall ensure that I do, Father. And he smiles weakly with his beak, as much as he can smile with a beak.
Hoodimus Silverflock eventually gives in to his emotions and wraps you up in his big winged arms. This is a gesture that's very rare. Compassion and kindness in a land torn apart by war is seldom sought. But this small gesture Hoodimus offers to good Ardbirth.
And Ardbirth goes ahead and awkwardly hugs his father, looking a little uncomfortable as he does so.
All right.
I'll be off then.
Indeed. Do write. I'll write for sure. I'll let you know how things are progressing.
I'll be sure to keep an eye out for your letters, Father.
All right, then. It's a good thing that I heard there's a realm where owls deliver the letters. Can you imagine?
How preposterous.
Preposterous. Well, you be off then. You be off.
And
Fare thee well.
Walking towards the Plains Bridge.
All right. So you cross through the Plains Bridge and you enter into Pangaea. And the Plains Bridge actually empties you out right there at the main road headed towards the Biblioplex. Now, there's a few people to greet you, and in fact, there's a few helpers there who are helping you with your bags. And they collect your bags and say, we'll deliver these to your dorm, and they collect your name, and they tag the bags and everything, kind of like you're checking into a hotel. And then they give you explicit instructions to follow the road up towards the Biblioplex, where you'll go past the Hall of the Oracles to the amphitheater for orientation.
I'd like to go fly to the amphitheater.
You're going to fly.
Yeah, I got wings.
You're going to fly, you bastard. Okay. No problem. I'll figure this out. Alright. Oh, okay. No, I know how to do this. Alright, perfect. Great. Yeah, you fly to the Biblioplex. Perfect. As you're flying to the Biblioplex, we'll go ahead and move over to a distant, seldom heard of realm known as Atheris. And Atheris is a realm that is sundered into many different worlds, but today we're going to be talking about the source, particularly visiting the city of the Sultana herself, Ul'dah. And it is there in Ul'dah's own chamber of rule that we meet up with Taylor Toley. Lee, can you please do us the solid favor of introducing us to your wonderful Lalafellan hero?
Indeed. Taylor Toley is a Lalafell from Ul'dah. His parents work for high people within the syndicate. His father is a skilled spy and assassin who works under Lolorito Nanarito. His mother is Dodoma Doma, who is actually a businesswoman and cousin to Dulala Dula.
Gosh sakes.
So he is pretty well. Taylor is actually pretty well off. His family is pretty well off. His parents are often busy with work, so he doesn't see them often. As a young kid, he's always had caretakers. Because he didn't see his parents, he lashed out, often just doing mischievous stuff, causing trouble, trying to actually garner the attention of his parents. But in this case, it's in a negative way. So he's always had caretakers take care of him while his parents were working. And those caretakers would eventually quit because they couldn't take the mischievous acts of Taylor. So he apparently there was something about him. He has this source of aether in him that was different from that which is usually in Eorzea. And the Thaumaturge Guild was actually interested in Taylor and into studying him and seeing what they could find out about this aether flow. So eventually, one of the caretakers was actually a student in the Thaumaturge Guild, and she noticed this flow of aether within Taylor, and she actually convinced Taylor's parents to send him to the Thaumaturge Guild so that they can teach him, and he can learn the dark arts, and they can actually study him at the same time. There he learned about black magic, a little bit about black magic. Of course, he got himself into a little bit of trouble by trying to cast spells that he shouldn't be casting. One of the spells backfired and left this mark on his face, this tattoo-looking mark on his face, which he can't get rid of, and it doesn't cause him any harm or anything. It's just there permanently. So eventually the guild decided to send him off to Gridania, another city-state of Eorzea, to see if he can learn how to calm himself down, be one with the land by studying white magic in the Conjurer's Guild. There, he calmed down a little bit, but still he got into trouble. And they eventually sent him right back to Ul'dah. However, they sent with him a note to his parents, which recommended, I should say, that he be sent to this school for magic that was far, far away. This school called Strixhaven. And that's all I have right now.
So it's just a bit of a role-playing note for those who are watching from home. Strixhaven is not known much at all in the source of Aetheris, and as such, since it's not so well known, this is sort of a tightly guarded secret about interplanar travel and interdimensional travel as well. Now, their concept of interdimensional and intertravel is basically through time and space itself. There is known only to the select few in the elite, which so happens that Lotharito knows about this, and therefore Tadasaki, who is Taylor Toli's father, knows about it, and they got that letter by way of that connection, not necessarily the Conjurer's Guild. Do want to put that note out there. You got it from that connection. And because it wouldn't make sense for them to be recommending you go some interplanar realm. This is a very tightly guarded secret. Only the elite few know of it. When simply Eorzea's finest is not enough, there is yet another institution that they recommend you to. And Tadasaki, being the spy that he is, knows how to access this dimension following the instructions of Latharito, and it is here that we catch up with Toli, all packed up and ready to go to Strixhaven, complete with uniforms, books, etc. We are standing in the very dark place of the Thanalan Desert Caverns. I'm sure you're familiar with many of them. It's a very hidden corner. And there is, at the end of a chasm, sort of a blank wall. You see nothing, but you sense that there is magic there or about. Tadasaki holds his hand up, whispers his own incantation, and you could feel as though the path is open before you, but still nothing visually appears. He looks back at Toli, and he says, well, caused us enough right trouble, and Uldar, and in Gridania. This is your last chance to make something of yourself, son.
I will not fail you, Father.
I have very strong suspicions that you will. But I'll tell you this. Oh, here, rough and tumble, Dunes folk. Are you plain folk? Ah, damn it.
Yeah, I'm plains.
Plains folk. Oh, you rough and tumble plains folk. Know an opportunity when we seize one. And Lord Latharito himself opened up this avenue of opportunity for you. I have had it. We have sent you from place to place. How did you put the fear of Heidelin herself into the Thaumaturge Guild? I still to this day do not know. Even the conjurers could not find it within their hearts. And yet you tell me he's on his last leg. This is an act of desperation for him. That suddenly you're going to be okay because you go into some far distant school. He waits for a response.
I just want you to see me, Father. I just want to know that you know that I am here and that I will be a good person. I will do what I need to do to keep Uldar as the great nation it is. And I will do what I need to do to make you and Mother happy.
All you ever
Please
needed to do was just behave. Just go where you're told. And there's plenty of time for making your own decisions when you're grown, lad.
If only you would tell me that instead of these caretakers that you hire.
And what am I to do? I ain't much for child rearing, lad. That going about the Sultanate, navigating the domiciles of Doma, infiltrating Garlemald itself. You know how hard it is to infiltrate Garlemald as a Lalafell? It's hard. They all have 3 eyes. Your mother and I try to do our best, you see. We tried. But right now, this is our last act of desperation. It's on you. Stop looking to others for your problems. Start looking into yourself. Could we have done better? Could we have been more present? Your own mother couldn't be here today. Why? She's overseeing an arrangement between the East Aldenar Trading Company and Doma. I think. Or so the Alamegan resistance this time. Regardless. She's busy making a way for you. She works hard for you. But you can't see that. Because you don't see her. I understand to a point, lad. But eventually, you need to take responsibility for yourself. We won't be there. And no one there will be able to bail you out. They barely even know where you came from. The contacts that we've made are so loose that any trouble you make, well, you'll be on your own. All right, then. Let's not be late. Portal's that way. And he points.
I love you, Father. And I hope that one day you have some faith in me.
Faith is earned, boy.
I turn away, I walk towards the portal. As I step in, I cast fire, and I run. I fire at his feet, and I run.
Just so you understand, you don't actually have fire, but in Eorzea, you did.
Yeah, in Eorzea, I do, yeah.
In Strixhaven, not so much. Alright, so you cast fire as you leave, and you appear on the central walkways of Strixhaven. You are again greeted by, well, again, but you know, I heard the other stories. You're greeted by the different caretakers, and they spot you, and the scent of fresh magic kind of brings their alarm, and they say, now. They sense it. This is a civilized school. That being said, be more than happy to take your belongings, bring them to your dormitories. All first-year students must travel down this path, the main road to the campus. Proper, you'll be meeting at the Biblioplex amphitheater just beyond the Hall of the Oracles. Are you good to go? Any questions? You're in a brand new realm. This place is very different. You're used to a world where Aether ran freely, but here in this realm, Aether not so present. You notice that your ability to wield magic such as fire have all but dissipated.
This land is strange. I don't know if I'll be able to do the things I used to do here. I guess I need to make it to this Biblioplex. How far is this Biblioplex?
It's about a good 1.5 mile journey. Time for you to reflect upon your future here at Strixhaven. I'll be off. Orientation starts shortly.
Okay. Thank you. And I waddle off.
All right. So we have our 4 heroes waddling off towards Biblioplex. Well, 3 of them. Technically, one of them hasn't arrived yet. So we have Kira, Taylor Toley, and we also have Ardberth, who are about next to each other, actually. They're not too far apart. They arrived at campus around the same time and departed together. And about 1/2 mile into their walk, as they are looking around and probably observing the other students and kind of coming into their own bearings, Kira more so than others. She's been here before. She's been around the campus for a while. It was just another day for her, really. She's just going to orientation. And then suddenly, a bright flash of light emanates from the sky, and something like a bolt of lightning strikes straight down upon the ground. Ardberth, would you be so kind as to make a dexterity saving throw?
Oh boy, we're already starting. Dex saving throw. Sure.
Though you catch sight of this bright light from above you, it catches you off guard and you are actually struck. With that dexterity saving throw, though, you manage to catch yourself so you land without any fall damage. But there is a bit of scorched marble not far from you where the lightning bolt struck. And there appears from that spot a young goblin fellow. Kira and Tali, this happens immediately in front of you. What you see is a big bright light, a bolt of lightning. An owl comes just slamming down into the ground, nimbly keeping himself afloat long enough to not sustain any heavy damage. And a goblin's there, and the goblin says,
Oh, this is a bad idea.
What just happened? I've never seen anything like this happen here before. Is this how school's gonna go?
What sort of creatures are you?
What happened?
Well, you are on the
Where
campus
this?
of Strixhaven.
What's a Strixhaven?
It's a school of magic.
Goober never been to school.
So your name is Goober?
Goober name is Goober. Yes.
Hi. I'm Kira.
Hi. Are you going to hit Goober?
No. Why would I hit you?
Big people always hit Goober.
oh no.
Oh no, I try to resolve things outside of conflict whenever possible.
Oh, okay. What about the others? Do you hit Goober?
No, Goober. You and I will probably make good friends. We're just about the same height.
Ardbirth, examining himself over for any scorched feathers, then looks at Goober, who, there are goblins on Dominaria, starts speaking in Goblin to Goober, and says, I might just hit you again.
And immediately Goober disengages and gets as far away as possible, looking for a place to hide.
I watch Goober run away, and I look at this owl creature, and I ask him, "Who do you think you are? Why do you have to speak to him that way?"
Who am I? Who am I? I am Ardbert Silverflock. That said, he nearly knocked me out of the sky with his careless use of magic.
Well, why were you flying on campus?
I was not informed that I could not fly with the wings that I was born with.
So you have
here
to
on
make
campus.
a history check with advantage.
History check with advantage?
With
Okay.
advantage. Fantastic. So, Kira, you know that it is Strixhaven tradition that all students must walk, not fly, to the Biblioplex.
Yeah.
Is anyone going to go look after Goober?
It's not forbidden to fly on campus, but when we're going to orientation the first day, all students are supposed to walk. It's sort of a rite of passage.
So while
You-
all this is happening, have I found a place to hide yet?
Go ahead and go ahead and make a stealth check.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, that'll work.
Oh yeah, you hide. You have slipped away.
Oh. You think they would have informed me upon arrival that I can't fly to the Biblioplex?
I mean, they did tell you to walk down the road, didn't they?
One would think they would emphasize the importance of walking as to not be struck from the sky.
As I said, this doesn't happen on a regular basis. I've never seen this happen before. I've practically live on the campus as my father is a professor here.
Ah, so you're familiar with where we're at.
Yes.
Excellent. And what is your name?
Kira Wiles.
Kira, and the short one.
Taylor, he's talking about you. You're the short one. Lee, you there? You're muted? I think Lee is muted.
Very
There we
well.
go.
Oh, I'm here. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
I missed that. I'm sorry.
He said that, and the short one, your name is?
Taily Toly of Ulda.
Well, Taily Toly of Uldar, where did that little green runt run off to?
You
I looked
scared him
back.
away.
I was like, oh, I don't know. He's quite fast. He went to hide. He hides very well.
I start kind of walking around saying, Goober, come
Are
out.
you-
We're not going to hurt you.
Are you looking for him?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and make a perception check. You know what odds you're up
Good luck.
against.
I would also like to look for him.
All right, anybody else who wants to look can go ahead and do so. 18's pretty strong, but unfortunately not enough.
Oh,
Oof. Oddbreath has no idea. And Taylor, you can make a perception check if you'd like.
No, I'm gonna watch everyone else.
Okay. All right, so Kira, you don't see him. You can't really find him, but you do happen to notice in his initial panic of running away that he ran a certain direction. He actually went more towards the northwest. As you know, you guys were both heading north. He ran northwest and towards the green areas. So if you're watching the stream right now, imagine you are walking up this road here and northwest, kind of like ducking probably in this area if you were to gauge, but you don't see him. You have a decent idea where he went. So if you want to call out to him, you kind of have an idea of where to call.
Yeah,
out
so I'm
from.
kind of like crouching down a little to make myself not so big. And like, Goober, where'd you go? Come out, please. We're not going to hurt you. We have to get to the Biblioplex for orientation. If you want to be a student at Strixhaven, you have to go.
What's a vacation?
Can I follow his voice?
With a perception roll like that, and in your passive perception, you have an idea. Yeah, the voice kind of is a slight giveaway as to his location.
Okay. An orientation. They are going to tell us about the school and what to expect for being students here.
Is the Birdman going to be there?
Yes.
Go away.
Where's Ardberth at? Is he following me or is he in a different area?
I'm lost.
No, you see Tanantha. I mean, Kira, you had no idea where Goober went. You know, that's all.
I said if you fell from the sky with a bolt of lightning again and nearly hit me, then I would hit you. However, I am not currently inclined to harm you, Goober.
He says he
do
won't
no
hurt you.
lightning. Maybe pretty lady do lightning.
Pretty lady?
Yeah, she Goober best friend.
So
Goober's
you were
friend.
sent here?
Goober not here before, Goober here now. So yes.
I suppose that explains how he got here then.
So if he wasn't the one that did the lightning, then there's no chance of it happening again. So can you just tell him that you're not going to hurt him?
I just told him I wouldn't hurt him.
Well, you said unless he did that again, which he doesn't know what he did if he didn't do it.
Noted, semantics are very important here at Strixhaven. Goober, I won't hurt you.
Okay, but okay.
And then just kind of slowly, you kind of hear some rustling in some branches as, you know, here he comes kind of sauntering out, and he's giving you the stink eye just a little bit because you've already threatened him, so he doesn't really trust you. So he's kind of always keeping an eye on you, pretty much out of the corner of his eye at all times.
So, where we go for the orientation?
The orientation, it's straight ahead down this road. Follow me.
Okay. Don't
Kira
go too
kinda
fast. Oh my god,
sighs.
little legs.
Kira kind of sighs and shakes her head like this is a great start to the first day.
Yeah, you've already met an hour man, a goober, and a child. All right, so I take it that with Kira in the lead, the four of you are venturing together to the Biblioplex?
Yeah, and Goober's going to take in everything around him. I don't know what the scenery necessarily is, but I'm just absorbing everything with half excitement and half I'm gonna die kind of energy and all that, just kind of taking it all in.
Well, if you have the stream open, I have just loaded up a representation of the Biblioplex in our Tailspire map. You are walking on a marbled pathway up towards the tallest building on this enormous campus. There is a lot of buildings, but in the area where you were just at, let me take the moment to describe it, there was sort of a central park area, very round, sort of rotunda, but very on a massive scale. Lots of tents and preparations were being put in order for a big party, a big festival. And as Kira leads you up down the main road towards the Biblioplex, this large building comes into your vision. You probably could have seen it a while back. It is this large marble domed building that you see here on the stream. And it's massive. It's the biggest building in the central campus area. It's got a big, massive dome, two large wings out of the west and east corners. And yeah, there's a lot of students walking up there. You guys are arriving on time for your orientation.
So as we kind of get closer and see more people, Goober's going to take his hood and kind of pull it up over and tuck his ears in and pull it down and kind of lowers his head a little bit to try to be as inconspicuous as he possibly can.
Okay.
And Paley is just taking in everything, walking a few steps behind the group, watching them carefully, and just taking everything in and keeping mental notes.
Okay.
Kira is very focused on getting into the Biblioplex, finding a seat to try to avoid any staring. So she's tunnel vision, not really paying attention to what's going on around her, just nervous about other people potentially.
Goober right on her tail because he doesn't want to get left.
All right, so you guys go into the Biblioplex. Now, you pass the Hall of the Oracles, and this is a very incomplete map. This was somebody else's map that I kind of took purely for the outside look, but basically, I'm still working on my interpretation of it. I had a lot of maps to work on. This one, unfortunately, did not get finished. But in short, the way it looks is that as you walk into the main chambers, to the right, you see a dining area, sort of like a cafe, and to the left is like a student store. There's a couple information desks along this very long hallway / corridor, and as you go into the main entrance, you see the Hall of the Oracles before you. A bright, shining light emanates from the Hall of the Oracle directly in front of you, and to the left and to the right, you see floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, each stacked with books. Walking through the Hall of the Oracle, you note statues, and if you look up, very difficult for me to show off here, but you can see a very bright, shiny light at the very top of this structure here. Statues of all the previous oracles of Strixhaven line these marbled walls and these arched doorways. And then just beyond that, there is an amphitheater set up right here against the back side of the biblioplex. There are chairs aligned directly in front of this amphitheater. There are hundreds of students here. On the stage itself, there's a podium. There's a few people waiting for the orientation to begin. Among them, an Owlin who's very kindly, and she's looking attentively at all of the students who are coming in. And there's a few others. One with a very tall, pointed hat and fairly poofy. What's the term here? I don't want to say dress, but I suppose that's what it is. It's robes. It's sort of poof out at the bottom there into a dress. And there's a bunch of seating and chairs. And I'll let you guys take it from there.
So Kira looks around for open seats.
Okay, make a perception check. All right, yeah, you actually managed to find a couple seats, actually in the middle, pretty much right dead center, and of the front and left to right. It's kind of like, nice seats, not quite front seats, but you find four seats together that no one has occupied.
Come on, guys, we can go this way and sit down together.
Would seem our journey together is not yet done.
Novosi, to answer your question, you guys arrived a little late. All right, so you guys go up into that center seating area, and time passes. Now the time for the orientation where it's supposed to begin, but it's still kind of hasn't started yet. You guys have an opportunity to talk to each other a bit more as we continue to wait.
So I put myself between Ardberth and Goober in the seats so that they're not next to each other.
And I sit next to Goober. I'm asking him what type of creature he is. I've never seen anything like him before.
We've never seen nothing like you either.
So what are you? What type of creature are you?
Goblin.
Goblin.
You never see the goblin? Everybody know goblin. Most people want to kill goblin, but everybody know them.
Well, the goblins where I'm from look a little different. And in goblin, I say, nice to meet you.
You You speak goblin too?
Yes, I learned it while
you had some study material sent your way.
Yeah, but apparently my goblins and your type of goblin are the same. They speak the same language. That's interesting.
Oh, maybe go and meet them one day.
Maybe there'll be a way to take you back to Eorzea so I could show you guys around.
Maybe. Goober not know. Goober just know supposed to be here. Pretty lady say so this is where Goober is.
Okay. Well, nice to meet you, Goober.
You said your name, but Goober not remember. What was name?
Taily Tolly of Ulda.
Ali Totally.
No, Taily.
Haley?
Tolly.
Totally.
Yes.
That's a lot of L's. Can I just call you Lily?
Why not call me Tato?
Oh, like potato.
Actually, that was bad. I actually don't like that. For some reason, the people in my land call us Lalafels potatoes because of our size and stature. I should have said that.
Oh, Goober not mean to make sadness of you.
It's not your
okay.
fault, Goober.
Go. Tay-wee. Goober got it now.
Okay, we'll take that.
Ardberth, what are you up to?
I am currently contemplating how I'm going to be balancing the niceties and customs of multiple planes at the same time without offending anybody.
So Kira looks over at Ardbirth and so what are you here to study?
I'm here in order to hone my speechcraft and work on my diplomatic skills, as my homeworld is currently in the rebuilding phase of a very long war. And so I'm here in order to help speed things along once I get back.
Well, I hope you learn diplomacy.
I hope that the people that I encounter aren't nearly as skittish as this goblin.
Well, you never know where people come from and their backgrounds.
I suppose you're not wrong there.
Oh.
That said, it's nice to see that there's more owlin about. I was afraid that I'd be the only one. Luckily, I
no,
don't see
yeah,
any
there's several
dragons.
Owlin.
You would actually recognize Mavinda as the guidance counselor. You've had several conversations about your status.
You talking to Ardbirth?
I'm talking to you.
You live.
Oh, me.
Yeah, you live here. You would actually recognize Mavinda.
Yeah. And
Okay.
that's why I said there are several Owlins here.
Yeah, okay. All
Yeah.
right. Mavinda's the one who's on stage right now. I just wanted to make sure you knew.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. Well, that being said, a man walks towards the podium. Very dark complexioned human. Very tall. Quite an imposing figure. In black robes. Very short hair, though I must admit thicker than mine. Very thick. And sharp, piercing yellow eyes approaches the podium. Greetings, students. Welcome to Strixhaven. I am Teva, the voice of the founders. And as he makes that introduction, there is a hushed whisper throughout the hall. Teva, being the voice of the founders, this is a rare treat. Never happens. This is something
I kind of gasped
yeah,
in shock.
a lot of folk are gasping at this news, and some people are beginning to murmur and whisper because this is something that is just unheard of. And everybody's kind of losing themselves and talking to one another, and then suddenly you hear, "Silence!" The imposing man's voice booms throughout the biblioplex. The foundations quake at the sound of his voice. He resumes his opening remarks, expressing regret on the behalf of the founding dragons. It is with profound sadness that we learned the events that has transpired on this campus over the last several years. Our students are our very reason for being. To pass on to them and future generations magic. To protect, to aid, to help. Bellatrix Witherbloom herself was deeply saddened by the tragic events which unfolded on campus. She expressed profusely that the College of Witherbloom was to groom stewards who would defend nature itself and to help others. She has personally assigned me to investigate all of the staff and faculty who had dealings with Valentine. This investigation is still ongoing. It continues to provide some details as to how this investigation is moving along. Agents of the Dragon's Guard have been posted around campus to aid the watch. Be wary, they are not uniformed, nor will they bear any marking of their station. They are not to be trifled with, nor distracted by anything not pertaining to the Valentine situation. Furthermore, night classes have been suspended until further notice. I apologize to Owlin students and others with more nocturnal dispositions, but you Must get used to a day schedule. I do hope the transition is not too problematic for you. Instructors, go ahead, Ardworth. What's your thought on that?
He lets out a small groan. And he's a little tense at hearing that the term founding dragons and Dragon's Guard.
Instructors, professors, and deans will be held to a higher standard. And so too shall the student body. Academic standards have been tightened. Inappropriate behavior punished swiftly. Extracurricular activities shall continue. However, it will be tightly monitored. Finally, and it gladdens me that I can say this, there is no reason to suspect Valentine's experiments continue. The immediate threat has been averted thanks to Draven Crift and his fellow adventuring students. Now, it is more of a matter of performing a cleanup. Finishes his comments, and afterwards he begins to invite a handful of faculty who begin to go over some of the basic things that you would expect to hear at school orientation. You learn about where to eat, where there's different places to go to study, about library procedures and things like that. Basically, you're learning anything and everything you need to know about how to be a functional student at this university. Then eventually, Mavinda Sharpbeak comes to the podium. She's this kindly Owlin woman, and she introduces herself as the guidance counselor. She briefly speaks and says, "Good day, students. I wanted to briefly remind you that your belongings are being taken to your respective dormitories, which you will be informed upon your arrival. The central dormitories can be found at the northeast side of the central campus, not far from here, just a couple blocks, and when you make your arrival, your dorm assignments will be made available to you, and you will find your belongings in your respective dorms. Furthermore, your class schedules will be posted on the bulletin board in your dormitories, as well as a letter with your name on it. You will find your classes there. We did our best to assign everybody the courses they requested, but this being your first year, it will mainly be focused on general studies and an extra sort of a class of your choice. If there are any questions, I have made myself available to all of you, and my office is here on the Biblioplex, not far from the Central Information Desk. And with that, I give to you Augusta Tillis. Now, those of you who know things about Strixhaven, you would recognize the name Augusta Tullis as the Dean of Order in the College of Lorehold. Augusta Tullis, a human, approaches the podium. She is the one with the very poofy robe dress and the big pointy hat, and she introduces herself as such. Children, today, we welcome you to Strixhaven, but Strixhaven is not the only institution at which we are welcoming you to, but instead we are welcoming you also to a realm known as Pangaea. Pangaea is an exotic land, a new realm that appeared roughly 2,000 years ago. Strixhaven's existence in this realm is a tightly guarded secret. The natives here of Pangaea do not know of his existence, well, with a few notable exceptions. Her eyes draw directly onto Kira, and they settle on her for a brief moment. I
sink down in my seat a little bit.
After that moment, she turns back to address the rest of the student body. She says nothing of Kira directly, just that she looks at her briefly. It is imperative that Strixhaven remain a secret into the realm. So long as their centuries-long war continues to rage, we must not make ourselves known to them. You see, the people of Pangaea wield magics beyond our understanding. They have no need of semantic and verbal nor material components, but rather their magic is a gift from their patrons who walk among them still to this day. However, the reason why we are located here in Pangaea is because it is a land rich with magical snarls and arcs. The land here is a veritable font of magic, untapped by the natives who live here, for they have no need of it. It is a resource of which we compete with no one for. It is a resource from which we can draw upon in secret without impeding upon the lives of those who call this land their native homes. And so, we live here, using this land's magic to fuel our research and our experiments, to teach young, curious minds, and this is here, Pangaea, which we call our home. However, it is imperative that no student embark beyond Strixhaven's jurisdiction here in Pangaea. You may already be familiar with the city of Bryn and the groves. It's outside the campus. Beyond Bryn is the edge of our boundaries, the wards which shield our existence from prying eyes, which protect us. On the other side of those wards is a powerful people who are waging an endless and bitter war. To be caught up in that war in any way would most likely lead to your inevitable and, dare I say it, painful deaths. No student, for any reason, without the express permission of the deans, shall embark beyond these wards. Punishment for traveling beyond will most certainly include expulsion from this institution. Have I made myself clear? She looks around the room.
Arbeth nods.
You hear a dwarf in the back sort of pipe up and say, "Yes, ma'am." Then after he says that, some other people in the crowd begin saying, "Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am." And you kind of hear it.
Kira says yes. Quietly.
Cooper kind of taps on Kira, trying to get her attention.
And I look over at him.
Did they say dragons live here?
Well, dragons founded the school.
Oh.
But
Girl, we don't see any of them because dragons is mean.
But they don't come to the school. The Dragon's Guard is people that guard the dragons, and they're here
Dragons
to.
don't need to be no guarded. They're big and they got the fire sometimes and they're big. They don't need no guardians. That don't make no sense.
They're the personal guard of the dragons, and they're here to keep the students safe.
The dragons, okay, that makes sense.
Now, shortly after this conversation, there's a few more speakers and they're talking. Goober, why don't you go ahead and make a perception check for me, please?
There we go, 13.
All right, so you notice, kind of get the feeling, just kind of over the back of your shoulder, towards the rear of the towards the rear of the amphitheater hall, where people are sitting. You get the feeling that you're being watched, and so you turn and you take a look, and you notice that there's a bit of a gang here, a goblin along with a half-orc, a dwarf, and a halfling, and they're all pointing at you and sneering.
This is not something that Goober has not experienced before, as this is pretty much what his entire clan has been doing to him for years. So he just kind of takes note of them, just general details, to make sure that he avoids them in the future.
All right.
Would we notice Goober turning his head?
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, once Goober turns and looks, you guys might actually, kind of get the signal to look. Sure.
And so it was you said there was a goblin, a half orc.
A goblin, a half orc, a dwarf, and a halfling.
Gotcha.
I would like to narrow my gaze at them and roll intimidation.
Go for it. Oh, very
17.
good. All right, so Ardberth sits up straight and does one of those things where he just turns his head, but the body remains the same, doesn't move. Okay? He just turn and glare at them. And Durgle, upon seeing this, kind of looks like you notice a brief moment where the intimidation is definitely working, and then the half-orc goes, Durgle, Durgle! And he goes, Durgle, Durgle, Durgle! And then the person who's speaking currently goes, Silence! Silence, we're almost done. The festival will begin shortly. We call this festival the Christening Festival. We're christening our new first-year students and welcome you here. So please make yourselves feel welcome. But first, a brief message from Bree, our lead cheerleader, who would like to invite you all to an opening day pep rally. So Bree comes up and she begins to give a bit of a speech about how everybody's so excited to have you here. The second, third, and fourth year students are always happy to welcome in some new blood, and they're more than happy to show you around and give you tours and be super helpful. And in fact, the veteran students are here to throw the party, and they're so excited to invite you over. There's going to be games. There's going to be different clubs who have booths there. There's going to be food. There's going to be beer and drink and ale. There's going to be games of fun and challenge and martial prowess. Lots of stuff happening here at this campus. She cannot wait to welcome you to school. And then she reminds everybody that there's a pep rally at the main gymnasium tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. And then at that, the mention of food and a party and everything else, most of the student body has now started getting up out of their chairs, and Bree starts to kind of speak up a little louder. Now, hold on. Everybody, don't forget, they got the pep rally at 8. There's plenty of food for everybody. There's no need to rush, and we're really excited to have you. Go Strixhaven! And then everybody kind of heads out.
She's certainly colorful.
What's a pep rally?
That's an excellent question.
This is the weirdest place Goober's ever been.
It's where the cheerleaders try to get you excited about being at the school. I much
Excited
prefer
about
just
being
being
at school? That should be something.
Do we get anything out of going? Is there any benefit, or is it?
They said food. Goober want food.
Food
yeah, the
does
food's
sound
at the
good.
festival. We can head out that way.
I'll follow you all.
And so our journey continues.
All right, everybody. So you guys are heading back towards the Central Park. You actually walked through here earlier. You saw the tents and everything being set up, but you now kind of get an idea. Oh, they were setting up a party for us. This is great. This was all for us. And so you're walking back towards the Central Park campus for your festival. And at this moment, we will allow our players a brief 10-minute break to go stretch, get some food and water and drink as I assign our player tokens and get ready for our fun adventure at the festival. I will let you all know what's going on here, who's here, etc. And I think you guys are going to have a good old time. Okay. Hello and greetings. Welcome back. We're a little early, so I'm not sure if all the players are back yet, but Alan, Lee, Tanantha, Valaris, who's here?
Hey, I'm just doing dishes downstairs.
I am here.
I am here.
All right, cool. Well, for that last minute, Navose, I don't quite have an answer to your question, but I will... I don't know how they measure time here. Valaris might be able to help me out. That being said, I will get back to you on your question that you put up in the Discord. And Gooba, I can't help but laugh. You're hilarious.
Definitely.
It's a great dynamic you bring
Goober,
in.
just Goober. Goober not know what else to do but be Goober.
All right, everybody. Well, let's go ahead and get started. So we are at the Central Campus Christening Festival, ushering in an era of new beginnings for our students. As you arrive, you're handed a map that details all the various activities that are occurring on this very large Central Park campus. We will begin with the dining area over here, where there is food and drink and tables to sit at. There is also a stage here. Hold on one second. He's over here right now. Anyways, there's also a stage over here where there are people performing. There's actually someone up there performing right now, just singing a good old song about Draven Crift and his gang of 12. Having a good old time chilling up there. Over here is some light refreshments to kind of greet you if you want something on the lighter, leaner side. Here it is. Over here, there's face painting. Maybe you might want to paint your faces according to the colors of your desired college you'd like to go to. Over here towards the northwest portion of the map, you notice that there is an archery range along with feats of strength, which is a hammer strike, and then of course a hatchet throwing exercise over here. Back here is dart throwing, and then there's knock down the bottles and put your hand in a bowl and get a magic item. Ooh, kind of a attraction over there. Over here you have the intramural gymnastics team trying to get people to join their club, and over here is the Strixhaven Strongman Club, as they have rocks for you to pick up and put down, and abilities for you to sign up over here, as well as a full-on Ninja Warrior inspired obstacle course that you guys can embark upon. That looks like fun, right?
I think my wings would get stuck.
And your wings would get stuck.
And then, of course, over here is water and light refreshments for those who are doing more arduous activities. And back here's a few more clubs they got set up where you can sit there and meet and talk with them. In the very back, you notice there is an infirmary marked right back here. And then across from the infirmary is simply a tent labeled vendors. Then next to that, now we are on the southeast corner of the map. There is a setup for magic prowess with these copper snakes and these coils that kind of run up them, where you can use your mighty boom fingers or what have you to try to make the eyes glow red if you can strike it hard enough. And then over here is some other weird divining magic puzzles and things you can try out. Next to that, there are these two booths, these two tents right here. They are only marked on your map as miscellaneous. Oh, I wonder what those can be. And then over here, there is the Mage Tower Cheers Squad booth. And across from them is a booth that is now vacant. Someone purchased the booth, but didn't occupy it for whatever reason. And those are the activities at your disposal. You arrive, have the map in your possession. Adventurers, what do you do?
Uber follow nose, go straight to food.
Right.
Food.
Food sounds good.
All right.
Is smell good food?
The smell from the food is fantastic. You smell roast pork. You got different pastries you could probably pick up and smell, and the ale is pretty strong smelling over there. It's good food.
Wait,
All right, let's head over and get some food.
Goat food, yeah.
All right, so we'll bring our adventurers over there without throwing them across the other side of the world. Novosi. All right, and you are greeted by this. So I take it you guys are going to gather some food and some drink and probably sit down at a table. Is that a good assumption?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
we'll go ahead and sit you guys down and around here. And you guys get your food and everything's having a good old time. And everybody's having a bit of a blast.
And Goober's grabbing far more food than what someone his size should probably be able to eat. He's never seen so much food in his life, so he's grabbing as much of it as he can.
The faculty, particularly a troll chef, is delighted to see you take so much food. And the troll chef kind of looks over and goes, yes, more. Do you want more? Haha, yes, more. He's into it.
His Goober notices who's talking to him, and his eyes, his bright yellow eyes, just get giant.
Don't eat Goober.
And he just turns and then just beats feet with as much food as he can, just balancing them as best as he can as he tries to head back to the relative safety of the people he's been around this whole time.
The troll laughs and is delighted. It goes, yeah, man, you won. You won. Goblins are the best. They're my favorite.
Goober, I don't think anyone here is going to hurt you.
You know what like to be a goblin?
I can't
Everybody,
imagine.
even other goblins, want to hurt Goober.
You said
We're
that
in
a
this
pretty lady
together.
sent you here, right?
Goober barely met the pretty lady. Goober not know the pretty lady even gonna send Goober here. Goober, it's a long story, but Goober went to place because Big Boss said go to place, and then all the goblins disappear. Pretty lady heal Goober. Goober, she tell Goober point at the thing. Something blowed up. Flash of light. Goober here. That's how Goober know.
Do you think she would have sent you here if it would be dangerous for you?
Goober
After she
no
healed you?
idea at this point.
I thought
They
she was
already
your
talk
best
about.
friend.
They talk about wagons. They talk about. I don't know. They kept talking about wagons. There's supposed to be wagons here.
Wagons?
Well, Kira and them said that the dragons aren't here and haven't been here for a while, so I think we needn't worry about that, Goober. Though I agree, I'm not a fan of dragons myself.
Around this moment, you guys probably taking a look around your surroundings. There's a lot of students here. There's someone singing again about Draven Crypt up there on the stage there. On a table across the way a little bit, you spy another group of students just taking their seats, and they're eating down just like you are. There's a couple of humans and a dwarf and a wood elf kind of eating together at a table, and about this moment, a bit of excitement kind of echoes there across the way by the ale tables as a goblin, a half-orc, a dwarf, and a halfling begin shouting, "Durgle! Durgle! Durgle! Durgle!" And then they run off with a bunch of mugs of beer off towards the west side of the festival.
Well, we found the Dunderheads from the introduction.
Them again. Do you know them, Goober?
Why you think Goober know who they are? Goober not know even what Durkle is.
Well,
Sound like a noise you make when you got a thing stuck in your throat.
Oh, Goober.
oh, Goober, you're hilarious. I won't let anyone hurt you. You make me laugh too much.
Oh,
I've
man.
known Goober for all of 30 seconds, but if anything were to happen to him, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Uber, I think
Okay.
you're safe with us.
That's why Goober not go very far away.
Well, anyways, the festival is your oyster. You guys probably finished up eating your very delicious meal of pastries and pork and other fun confections.
I never eat this much in all Goober life.
Keep eating, Cooper, and we're going to have to roll you around.
Right.
I'm
Seems like
interested
you
in
can keep
checking
like
out
this
the
every day.
magic area.
We are at a magical school. Sounds like a great idea.
Yes, I need to see what's going on with my magic powers. For some reason, I'm unable to wield magic as I did in my homeland. So I need to see what I can do to fix that.
Go ahead and make an arcane knowledge roll.
Okay.
Arcana.
Oops, I did it twice. Sorry.
That's fine. We'll just take your. I think you only did it once. I want to see it once.
Okay, good.
All right, good. With your
Plus,
roll
that's
of 10, you would remember from your studies as a black mage that the source of your power is that of your aether, and that Aetheris, the land from which you hailed, is rich with aether. It is a ton of aether there, and that's where you derive many of your magical abilities. The area that you're in now lacks the aether that you are used to having access to. And you remember briefly that conversation about the people here of Pangaea having no issues using magic, but the people who study at Strixhaven require semantic and verbal and material components. Kind of clicks with you very quickly. Yeah, magic works different here.
Yeah, so I'll have to relearn magic.
Well,
All
It's a
right.
great place to learn it.
So Kira
Wait,
recommended
is-
going to the magic area. Oh, go ahead, Goober.
Do you know if Goober is magic now too?
You said you pointed and blew something up. I would assume
Yes.
it could only be magic.
Goober never had magic before. Goober only know how to do that one thing that the pretty lady told him how.
Maybe Pretty Lady gave you magic.
Don't know. How you give magic?
She has to be pretty powerful to have sent you across several planes to get here.
Goober not know what that mean, but okay.
You'll learn how to wield your magic here.
Okay, Goober try very hard. Not want to
Okay.
make pretty lady mad. Is best Goober friend.
After that lightning bolt, I also don't want to make the Pretty Lady angry.
All right.
Let's be off then.
All right, so we're going to leave your icons here for now, but I might move them again later. You guys will go through this area here. You see the vacant tent over here to your left, and to the right, the Mage Tower Cheer Squad. A couple of them are very bouncy and very happy and kind of wave you down if they, but they're waving at a lot of people. I take it
I
you
just
will-
ignore them.
What type of people are these?
Oh, these are your stereotypical college or high school age cheerleaders. They are wearing cheer outfits, very low cut tops, short sleeved skirts, and they got their tennis shoes and they have pom poms. Like they're full on cheerleaders.
Would you get cold wearing that?
Of course not, says one
Why do you
cheerleader.
think they bounce around so much?
That was what I was going to say. Why do you think we bounce around so much?
You have too much energy?
To keep themselves warm. Let's go.
This is weirdest thing other gob. Oh yes, follow you.
All right, so then we get to this next section, the Miscellaneous Tent. To the left, you notice that it is a fortune-telling tent. There's a couple of fortune tellers inside, and to the right is a shack that is unlabeled, but gauging from some of the sounds you hear from within, you surmise that it is a kissing booth.
Oh,
Huh.
interesting. And I see the fortune teller.
It sound like
and-
mud in that other place.
Sounds like what?
Mud. You
Mud.
ever been into a big swamp?
I've flown over
Well,
swamps.
sometime a foot gets stuck and you try to put a foot out and it goes. They can make that noise. That's what Goober hearing there.
Yes. Anyways, does anyone want their fortune told?
I do.
Oh,
Oh, does that give money? You say fortune.
No, as in your fate, Goober.
Your future.
Oh, Goober never know he have future. Goober want to find out.
Yes, let's go.
Please.
all right. Do the four of you want to have your fortunes read?
Yes.
Sure.
I definitely do.
Oh boy. I was not expecting this group to get their fortunes read.
Oh.
All right. So I'll have to think on the fly here. As you walk into the fortune teller booth, there are two sides, the left and the right. The right is currently occupied, but the left is open. And the four of you walk in, and you notice that there is sort of a water genasi sitting there in the room, and she's doing one of this where she's feeling energy. Really, and she stops as you walk in, and she goes, "Oh. This I foresaw. Yes. Powerful one. Native one. Far traveler. A trickster. And... oh. Yes. She opens her eyes looking directly at Goober. You're a special one. Please come in. Come in. And allow me a moment to read you your fortunes.
Wait, Goober special?
I think we could all tell that you're a little special, Goober. Sure, let's get our fortunes read. Why not? It's fun. We're friends now, right, everyone?
Yeah. I walk
Right.
in.
Wait, we're friends?
Yes.
Why not?
Goober never have friend before. Well, Goober have Fred. Fred is only Goober friend.
We'll come back to that later.
Hey,
All right, so you guys go into the fortune teller's hut, and in the water genasi is kind of mingling about. There's wind chimes in there, and there's cards and candles there, and you definitely have the thick smell of incense surrounding you. You know, all the various trappings of your stereotypical fortune read. But already, you can already get the feeling that this person knows something about you. For example, Kira, your attention might have heightened at the word of being native, powerful. The far traveler, right? Talking about Ardbirth and the mischievous one, you know? And then someone who is very special, Goober, naturally. You are very special, especially this day. As you all take your seats, she goes, now, I shall divine, seeing through the mists. I've no need for these toys for you. Oh no. No. Each of you. A destiny, a path lies before you, a choice you will make with open arms, embracing a fate. So few, I say only a dozen, before you have chosen before.
Kira kind of thinks to herself, is she talking about Draven?
And she continues and she says, a pact was made, a pact indeed. Of celestial origin, our special one doth play. Point with finger, boom, boom. One day, the booms shall grow bigger and bigger. Yes, much boom in this one's future.
Cooper's eyes just get as big as, like, he could ever make them.
She then turns, looking towards Ardberth. A heavy burden upon one's shoulders, a heavy burden, yes, too heavy to bear. Question is, the foundation upon which it is on, is it rigid or pliable? Will they conform to the ways of the future? Or remain sturdy, rigid, unmoving from the ways of the past? That
Ardbert
I cannot see. Ardberth says what?
He shifts uncomfortably.
Then to our far traveler. Ah, yes. Yes. A troublemaker we have here, indeed. Rejected by many, even owned home. Sad. But in reality, is it they who rejected our far traveler? Or is it the traveler who has rejected himself?
Haley bows his head, thinking of what was just said, seeing that it makes sense, actually.
Is her eyes closed?
Uh-huh. Just like my eyes are closed. I'm trying to emote her.
So Goober kind of just raises his hand and just waits with his hand up, just waiting.
She continues. She's in celestial, like, you know, she's in the void at the moment. She's seeing with different eyes. And then she turns and looks towards Kira. Ah. Yes. Where you came from is dark, clouded, mystery. You barely even know. Yet here you know more of foreign lands and realms unexplored. And you wonder why you don't belong. You wonder why you belong elsewhere. Why does home feel so far to you? Why was it hidden from you? Why is it kept from you? Perhaps you should ponder those questions more thoughtfully. Finally, she opens her eyes and looks towards Goober. Ah, my special friend. How can I help? Guys, it is bright. Don't close your eyes in front of studio lights ever. My gosh.
Does that mean Gooberfinger going to blow up?
Oh my gosh.
No. You're at Strixhaven. We'll make sure that your finger never blows up.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you'll be fine. It just means that your booms will get bigger. And you'll do more. And you'll learn. And then she turns to the whole table. She says, you see, fortunes are hard to read. Because your fortunes are yours to carve. Your paths. Push ahead. It's not for me, or anyone, to tell you what will happen to you in the future. What I can do, what I've done, is make you aware of your choices. What lies ahead. Goober's road is currently narrow. Strange land, good friends to help him on his way. But one day, there will be different paths. One that leads beyond just bigger booms. You others have already made many choices, and you know the choices that lie ahead of you. Choose wisely, and your future will be bright. Choose poorly. I'm afraid there's nothing but despair.
I just want to know if I'll ever find out who destroyed my town.
She nods, but does not give an answer.
By the way, Kira was a little teary-eyed after hearing her talk about her world and everything. And not belonging.
Goober know you say that is very hard, but Goober think you did good job.
Oh, well, thank you. I I live only to serve. You have to understand Strixhaven is a very welcoming campus, and we use our magics to help and encourage one another, to inspire one another to heroic feats of service towards others. And I know a couple of heroes when I see them. I pray you make the correct decisions when the time comes.
Well, thank you. We should probably move on so that you can help the next person.
Of course, of course. Enjoy the festival. You know, Goober, if you want to try practicing your boom finger, there's a booth just outside the tent. The big snakes, you should take a look.
Oh, okay.
Haley stays behind and asks the fortune teller if his parents will ever be proud of him.
She smiles and she says, "Pride isn't what you seek. It's acceptance. Always being pushed from you should do this, you should be that, about the family. The truth is that one day you could make them exceptionally proud. But the first thing you have to do is figure out who you are. And then progress your journey from there. You're in the right place."
I thank her and step out with the rest of the crew.
All right. You guys put me in a tough spot.
Oh,
I've never liked having fortune tellers in D&D games. It's just a little bit of OOC real quick.
I know.
I never liked having that. And the reason why is because it's like, well, how do I do this? Because it's like, I don't want to rob you of your choices. And I'm like, oh, I'll make the fortune about different choices they might have to make in their future. There you go. Done.
Yeah.
You made a wonderfully vague reals fortune teller.
Right.
I hope that
So
was
as
helpful.
as you're walking out, you basically are just catching the tail end of a conversation that Goober is having.
Goober just have regular feet. What is a hero feat?
Oh, Goober. Let's go.
A feat is an achievement, Goober.
Oh. Why the words got different names and do different things? Why? That don't make no sense.
They're spelled differently, Goober.
Oh.
Because common.
Oh,
is
like
a-
magic spell, right?
Goober, do you not know how to write?
Goober never try.
Oh.
I'm
Hopefully
sure you'll
you'll learn
learn
here.
here.
Exactly.
Oh, gosh. Let's get Kira out of the bush there. All right. All right, so you guys, after this brief conversation, come into the magical courtyard. Now, there's a couple things here. There is a demonstrate your magical prowess station. It's pretty dope. Over here, you have these big, large cobra heads, and the object is to shoot them. And if the strike is hard enough, the current will travel up the copper coils and illuminate the snake eyes. Now, naturally, they wouldn't have a magical prowess thing where you're here using your spell slots and things like that without a way to recharge. That's right. Over here is a station where just by touching the purple orb, you will get your spell slots recharged. A nice little recharging station. Then over here is sort of a diviners and magical puzzles. There are these portraits that are, that upon first appearance are completely dark. But perhaps through some prestidigitation and some manipulation of its magical currents, you could actually reveal the portrait within. Those are the magical activities here in the festival.
Goober want to shoot a snake.
Kira wants to as well.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I want to go. Yeah, I want to go to those purple orbs things, and
That's not Goober.
this is Taylor. Taylor wants to go to those orbs and see if he can feel any magic.
Okay. And Ardbirth, what are you up to?
Anything about his thing.
Do we have our level 1 spells from the Strixhaven colleges yet?
Yes, you do.
Okay, yeah, I'll go try to shoot the snakes too.
All right. So, the rule of this game is very nice and simple. You have a target. It has a pretty low AC of 10, but their damage dice is what determines your victory in the game. So you will make a spell attack to hit the target, and then after that, we'll roll your damage. Who wants to go first?
Go for it, Goober.
Goober didn't even ask for permission. He just pointed finger and yelled, "Boom!"
All right. With that roll, something kind of weird happens to you, and you need to roll again.
Boom!
And your boom finger trails off to the right and misses the snake target. Behind you, you see or hear cackling and sneering and laughing as a goblin approaches you and gives you a hard shove.
Is this the one that I saw earlier?
Oh yeah, this is Dargle.
Mm-hmm.
And his compatriots are behind the line, and they're laughing and laughing and laughing. He gives a bit of a light shove, not to knock you over, just a kind of like a playful shove, but it didn't feel playful. He gives you a hard shove, and he goes, "Ha! Whatever you can do, I can do better." And then he points his finger, and he yells, "Boom!" at the snake head. And he strikes it and hits it. And the eyes light up red. Ha-ha! And you hear the crowd behind go, "Dargle! Dargle! Dargle!"
Uber just learned to do this today.
You're doing a good job, Dougal. Or
Dougal.
Goober. I was mixing the two names.
Where's the fusion dance?
You're doing a good job, Goober. Don't worry about him. And like she kind of looks at Durgle sternly. You shouldn't be shoving other people that you don't know.
I'm Durgle. Durgle does what he wants.
This that name that sound like something stuck in the throat.
Well, at least I don't sound like a booger, he says as he runs off to touch the purple orbs over here to get his spell slots back.
At least boogers taste good.
Oh, God.
Goober says under his breath.
Oh, wow.
Now Durgle is going to come over here and he's going to watch.
Goober, if you need to recharge, go touch the purple orb over there and you can try
No.
again.
Goober don't need touch nothing. Goober think he do it again. Hold on.
Okay.
And so Goober stops and kind of tries to, like he's placing his feet. He's trying to just kind of get himself in a good position. And he takes his finger and he points and he grabs his elbow with his other hand to keep it steady and just points as hard as he can. And arm shakes a little bit as he's pointing and he goes, "Ow!" and fires off another shining bolt.
That one hits. Go ahead and roll your damage. And as it hits, the energy of the coil kind of travels upward just a little bit, but not a lot. At this point, Durgle goes, "You hit target! You hit target, but your spell fizzle!" And then the group of three behind you start going, Durgle, Durgle, Durgle. Silly goober can't make nothing go up the trail. Would anybody else like to shoot the snake?
Yes, Kira would. Should I go ahead and roll?
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Okay.
Roll your spell attack. Or whatever your spell you're casting. What spell are you casting?
Yeah. I was trying to figure that out. Let's see. I'm gonna use Chromatic Orb.
Okay.
Oh.
That hits. Go ahead and roll your damage. Not quite a crit though, unfortunately.
Okay.
And with that hit, the trail of light just goes all the way up, and bing, the eyes glow red.
Yay, I did it!
Oh, good job.
Well, look at you.
All right, Ardworth. Oh, go ahead, Alan.
Oh, I was going to say real quick. While all that's kind of going on, Goober keeps looking out of the corner of his eye, and he kind of, this whole time he's kind of had a hand in his pocket, and he's just been rubbing on the crystal that he has in his pocket, and then by pure unknowns to him, an illusion appears behind Durgle of one of the individuals that were standing up front during the initial conversations that we're having. Just minor illusion appearance of one of these important people behind the group of Durgle and his jerk friends.
Okay, so minor illusion. Okay, I see what you're doing. And so it's the people of importance, the people who are on stage?
Yeah, just a random one that Goober can remember. Yeah.
A minor illusion of Tavia, the dark-skinned, yellow-eyed voice of the founders, appears in front of Durgle's friends. And is he just sort of standing there? What is this illusion doing?
So, I mean, it's a silent illusion, so it doesn't have any voice or anything. It just kind of appears and is pointing at them.
Okay, it appears that it's pointing at them. I am going to roll a wisdom saving throw for them briefly on an intimidation check kind of thing, okay? Ooh. Okay. One of them freaks out just a little bit. But then the half-orc touches him and goes, nah, cheap tricks, look. And he puts his hand through it. See, nothing but vapor. Now, when he does that, you notice the half-orc in particular is very smelly. He reeks, and as he moved, his scent kind of traveled through the air. And it smells like a swamp, like the deepest, darkest swamp you've ever been in. He just absolutely reeks. Meanwhile, Durgle goes, ha ha ha, silly tricks, Trixie no work on Durgle's friends.
So Goober doesn't really quite realize that he was the one that made this happen. So he's just kind of a little surprised himself that this thing appeared. Because internally he was kind of hoping one of the faculty would show up to teach these boys a lesson.
All right.
And as soon as he breaks his concentration, it goes away.
Okay. All right, it goes away. And everybody kind of laughs at everybody at you. All Durgle's friends. They're just sort of hanging around, watching and scrutinizing everything you do.
Come on, we can go.
Meanwhile, let's check back in on Tolly. What are you doing over here, my Lalafellan friend?
I still don't know what I can do because I can't do anything that I used to do.
Okay.
In this land, everything is different. So I was hoping that if I recharge my magic, I will somehow figure out what magic I can do, basically.
Okay, so you want to touch the purple ball?
Correct.
All right, you touch the purple ball, and go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me, please.
Oh.
Okay, not terribly great, but you don't know how this purple ball works. But what you do know is that as you touch it, memories of a few cantrips and a spell come flooding into you. Before your time in Strixhaven, you were given some prep material for Quandrix in particular. And you learned about a couple different spells in this preparatory material. Guidance, Mage Hand, and Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Now, upon hearing all of this and learning about, oh, I can do a few different things. Like, for example, Tasha's Hideous Laughter. You can have a creature of your choice that you can see perceive everything as hilariously funny and make them just die in a fit of laughter and things like that. You can even get them to become incapacitated and unable to stand up for the duration. It's pretty wild. It's kind of a funny spell. It kind of fits your mischievous, trickster personality. And you remember that Mage Hand, you can kind of pick things up, kind of like very light items, nothing too heavy, right? Nothing heavier than 10 pounds. You can kind of pick it up and move it around. And then you have Guidance, where you can help somebody perform a task. And you kind of remember all of these different spells that you have learned about. And after touching this ball of magic, come under the realization that, hey, I know how to do magic here. It's different. Meanwhile, as you're touching the ball and coming to these realizations, the commotion behind you is becoming quite noticeable. Can you roll a perception check for me, please? Oof. Okay, I'm going to give you advantage because these are your friends you're trying to perceive. So go ahead and roll
Just
again.
roll again.
Yep.
Okay.
Much better. Okay. I mean, these are your friends. You were just with them. Your attention's still kind of on them, right? You just don't want to lose them. And you hear a lot of the commotion that's going on. You see Durgle over there, and he's clearly giving Goober a hard time, and his group of friends are messing with an illusion back here, and they're laughing at Durgle, and you can tell that they're not laughing at Durgle, they're laughing at Goober. You could tell that they're giving Goober a very, very hard time, and Goober's getting very uncomfortable. Now, they don't notice you. They're not looking at you. They're not doing anything. As far as they're concerned, you're not part of the party. What would you like to do?
Okay. I would like to actually use Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Okay.
Against Durgle.
Okay.
And see what happens.
Okay. Give me one quick second while I pull up his information. All right, cool. Go ahead and cast your Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Pull up your character sheet here so I know what you're doing. Okay, so you cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter. That is a wisdom saving throw. So I will go ahead and check my... Here we go. Let's go ahead and see how he does on his wisdom saving throw. Oof. Durgle, on laughing at Goober and making fun of him and everything, suddenly begins to laugh hysterically. And he kind of starts like, ha ha ha, Cooper can't do it. And it starts becoming like a panic laugh, a compulsed laugh. And he begins to laugh hysterically and then falls prone. At this point, whoops, no, you're prone. At this point, there's some folk who are pretty upset because they have understood what happened here. Somebody cast a spell on Durgle. He doesn't do that. And they spring into action. There's your half-orc. Need a dwarf here. Halfling. I need a halfling as well. And then a dwarf. Adventurers, roll for initiative.
You're welcome, guys.
So I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't realize that chromatic orb is once per a long rest. It doesn't take up a spell slot. I don't think.
Well, it
'Cause
doesn't
when I
take up a
used it,
spell
it
slot, but I'll let you know this now. Touching those orbs in the back there will restore your access to that spell.
Okay.
Okay? But you have to touch it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We have our order. Let's go ahead and start this. The order is as follows with initiative of 19. Our halfling will go first, followed by our good friend Durgle. And then it'll be Goober's turn, followed by Taylor Toling, Artbirth, then the dwarf, and then the half-orc, the really stinky half-orc, and finally, last to act is Kira. Okay. So, I need to roll perception for my halfling here. He seems completely mystified as to where the Tasha's hideous laughter came from. He's going to make an athletics check to jump over this rope here. Succeeds it. And he runs right up to Goober. And he will strike Goober with a scimitar.
A bad idea.
Does a 13 hit your AC, Goober?
Right on the money.
Well, darn it. All right. Let's go ahead and roll for damage here. He does 3 points of damage to Goober. Please mark your character sheets. By the way, players, don't forget we are using an extension through D&D Beyond. And viewers, it does not update very regularly. My apologies. I'm sorry. So we are going to do our best to keep up with it. But in this particular case, Goober, you take 3 points of damage. All right. And that will end our bandit's turn. Next up, with the initiative roll of 17, we have Mr. Durgle himself, who will need to make a saving throw. Let me just double check what kind of saving throw that is. This is a wisdom saving throw. All right, here we go. Durgle continues laughing, incapacitated, unable to get up. That is the end of his turn. All right, Goober, it is your turn.
Get away from me!
And Goober will use his bonus action to disengage.
Okay.
And will pretty much pull himself back behind his buddy, the owl buddy.
Okay, so he's going to go back here. Okay.
And he's going to boom finger this jerk that just tried to stab him.
Yeah, go for it.
Am I about to get boom fingered?
No, you're fine. He has line of sight to him. You're not going to get.
Boom. That's not going to hit.
Ooh, yeah, it just barely swings to the left a little bit. It does miss.
Yep, that's my turn.
All right. Next to act, Taylor Tolley. Now, Taylor, they have no idea it was you who cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter. They don't even know you exist.
Who is the guy right with the sword? Is that the half orc?
That's the half orc. Yep.
Does Durgle see me?
Now Dargle's laughing hysterically. He can't even get up.
Okay, I am going to actually shoot Durgle with a crossbow.
All right, go ahead.
I mean, with my short bow.
Just a quick bit of thing for you to try to see if I can help you out here. You do have some nearby cover, and you can stealth and make your attack and hide in the corners. Yeah, so something that you would, as your character, would know that, hey, you know, they don't know I'm here. Let's see what I can get away with.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to hide right behind that last orb.
Okay.
The one to the far left.
So you're gonna kind of come here.
To the left.
All right. So that was a 1-2 movement. So what we're going to assume here is if you're going to shoot Durgle, you're going to move your third square out, shoot, and then come back, and it'll have you roll stealth. Okay.
Okay.
So right now you're here, and go ahead and make an attack roll with your crossbow.
Do I get sneak attack with that?
You do. As far as I am aware, he has no clue you're there. So, yeah.
Alright, let me see how I apply sneak attack.
Let me look at that. Sneak, you just add a 1d6 to your attack. So go ahead and roll your attack as normal. So for your short bow, just click the +5 next to short bow, and you're on your way.
Okay.
That's rapier, but it's the same skill, so that's fine. Just make sure you click the appropriate damage die. So look in the same row as short bow. That did hit.
Got it.
So go ahead and click the 1d6 +3 button. There you go.
And
now you click your sneak attack. Yep.
Really?
All right, you do 5 points of damage against Durgle. All right. It's looking quite stout, though.
Sneak back inside and...
Roll a stealth?
Should I roll stealth?
Yep, roll stealth. All right, that succeeds. You hide. All right. That will be the end of Taylor Tolley's turn. Ardbert, your turn.
How big are each of these squares? Are they 5 feet?
They're 5 feet, yep.
Is the gnome still focused on Goober?
The gnome is quite focused on Goober, but with Goober kind of being right next to you right now at the moment. And he's a halfling.
I'm just wondering if sneak attack's possible.
Nah, he's very aware of you.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to use Sacred Flame.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. I mean, yeah. I didn't realize it was a dex save, but it's fine. So the gnome's got to roll a dex save. So yeah, after Goober runs behind Ardbert, he goes and, hearing the commotion next to him, he was about to get ready to go ahead and shoot the spell at the snake target, but having grown up on a war-torn plane, his instincts kick in and he just kind of flicks and casts a spell over at the gnome.
Okay, and that's a, what kind of saving throw? Dex?
Dex, gotta land higher than a 12.
They succeeded their dex saving throw.
Unfortunate.
Anything happen on a succeeded save throw?
Target must succeed on a dex saving throw or take 1d8 damage. Target gains no benefit from cover, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Nope, nothing happens.
All right. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Yeah, I'd like to fly over the gnome to behind him.
Okay, you're going to fly over the gnome to behind him. Got it. You are there. Are you still flying?
No, I land.
Okay. All right. No, that'll be your turn.
Goober
Yep,
just sees him fly away and just looks at him like, I was hiding behind you.
I can't do damage if I'm not next to him.
All right. The next person to act is our good dwarf fellow, and he too is going to try to jump the rope here. And he is trying to climb up it, and he's trying, and he goes, and he's just kind of gets this defeated look, and he goes, looks over at the orc, and he goes, help, please. And with that, you get the feeling that he has readied an action for after he receives help. The orc, who is next to act, goes over and provides assistance. And with that, the dwarf is able to jump over the fence, and he goes and approaches Goober directly. And he will try to hit him with a spear. Does a 20 hit your AC? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hits. Not a nat 20, but just a 20. 5 points of damage to Goober.
Yeah, I don't look good. I'm still up, but I do not look good.
Well, the orc, after helping, that was 1, and then I'm going to charge him half his move for the assist there. We'll go ahead and come over to these steps here, and he's going to stop there. All right, and that will be the end of the orc's turn. Kira, it is your turn.
All right. I'm going to go to the halfling so that I am flanking.
Okay.
Hard birth.
You got it.
And I'm going to swing my mace at him.
All right. Ooh, 20, that hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Oh, no.
You do 1 point of damage to our halfling friend here. All right. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Let me see. Since I only have one spell slot available, this is gonna be difficult.
Meanwhile, by the way, after this turn, remind me I need to give a meanwhile what's going on around you. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, because I have like a spell I could use, but I'm like, I only have one spell slot left. All right. As a bonus action, I will use Healing Word on Goober.
Okay, do you need to be within melee range for that to work?
No, it's 60 feet.
60
as long
feet,
as I can
perfect.
see him.
All right, go ahead and roll your heal.
Okay, I'm gonna use a spell slot. 6.
All right, Goober, you heal 6 points of damage.
But yeah, that's helpful.
Oh no, the Chromatic Orb does not take a spell slot.
Yeah, that was part of your feat, your Strixhaven feat. So
Okay,
it did not
so
take a
I
spell
still
slot.
have one more. Okay,
You do,
good.
yep. You still have one more.
I thought you said it did take a spell
It takes
slot.
a slot. I mentioned it was from your feet and that you could get it back by touching the orb.
Yeah, but I thought you said it took a slot, a spell slot.
It took your feet slot, yes. That's what I meant. but not one of your spell slots. No, it has its own
Okay.
slot. Yeah,
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
no problem. All right, and that will conclude your turn.
Yes.
All right. Now the halfling's a bit annoyed. He's in a bad spot, and he notices that he's a bit flanked here. He also notices that he can't quite flank Ardberth because the orc has a bit of a barrier between him and Ardberth. A bit torn in the way he wants to go, he will go ahead and face the healer, who he knows and recognizes from his strategy sessions that you always take down the healer first. So he will ready his spear and attack. Does an 11 hit your AC? No.
Hold on.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. But I was looking at, I have a reaction to when someone is attacking me,
Okay.
but it's not going to affect this.
Okay.
It would just give him disadvantage, so he'd have to roll again and take the lower.
Yeah, he already
But-
missed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'll just have to remember that when you tell me that someone is going to attack, then I wasn't sure if they had hit me first. But,
All
okay.
right. Well, this halfling is quite frustrated at this point, and now it is back to Durgle. Please succeed your wisdom saving throw. Please.
BW trying to kill us off in the first session.
Right.
Durgle continues laughing hysterically from the ground, going,
Some strong magic.
And that will be Durgle's turn. Goober, you're next.
Okay, so Goober's like he's looking at this dwarf bearing down on him with his spear, and is just like,
No, you do not want to hit Goober. You not want to hit Goober.
and cast Charms Person by pure and total instinct. That's going to
Okay.
be a wisdom saving throw. He will have advantage on it, and he's got to beat a 12.
All right, he'll have advantage on it. He's got to beat a 12. Got it. Yeah, he beats it handedly.
So yeah, so he knows that I just tried to charm him, and then I'm gonna go ahead and disengage and get as far away that my 30 feet can get me from him.
Meanwhile,
Like I'm gonna go inside the targeting area essentially to get away.
after you attempt charm person, he goes, "Who do you think you are, Durgle?" And you're gonna run this way.
Yeah, as far as away from him as I can get inside the
One,
actual range.
2, 3, 4, and your movement is 5 squares, right? 25? No, 30. You get a full
30.
30. All right, there we go. Perfect. And he does get an attack of opportunity. I don't think you disengaged.
No, I
right?
disengaged. Yes,
Oh,
I
you-
did
oh, you
disengage.
did as a
I have
bonus
I
action
can do
disengage?
it as
Okay.
a bonus action. Yes.
Perfect. All right, you're good, and you were there.
Yep.
All right. Is that the end of your turn?
It is.
All right. Totally.
Oh,
They have
BW?
no clue. Yes.
I forgot to remind you after the end of my turn. Meanwhile, what's going on around us?
Oh, yeah. What's going on around you? There is a huge crowd of students forming around this area, and they're screaming, "Fight! Fight! Fight! Fight!" You kind of had that kid who's like, kind of looks like the long black stoner hair. He's a gnome, and he, kind of a young dude. And he just kind of gets up and he just like, "Fight!" And people started gathering around. Now, they haven't quite gotten too thick around the perimeter of this magic range, but totally, you begin to realize that it's going to be difficult for you to participate in this battle if the crowd forms around the range and you're not in it.
Okay. Before I do anything, I am going to touch the orb.
Okay.
Will that be an action or a bonus
That's
action?
interact with objects, so I'm going to treat that as half your movement.
Okay, that's fine.
Or you can use it as a bonus action. So if you don't want to use a bonus action later, we could say, hey, bonus action, I touch it. I'm fine with that. That's interact with object. That's what you did. Bonus action. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll do it as a bonus action. So interact with the object.
Mhm.
So I can replenish my my spell slot. Then I am going to the orc. He's looking at everyone else, correct?
The orc is looking at everybody else. Everybody is focused on our heroes, which are over here. So yeah, they're. Yep. You are going to make a stealth check to get in, close range for another sneak attack with a melee weapon. But for now, he is not aware of you.
Okay. I'm going to attack Durgle again. I want to get rid of him. Because everybody else is after Goober. Yes, I'm going to attack Durgle again. So I'm going to sneak out. So I guess I do a stealth. Do I do a stealth now or after?
You can do it later. So for now, you're in the cover. You're just coming out enough to shoot and then stealth back. It's fine.
Okay. So I'm going to shoot him with my crossbow once again.
Okay, so that'll charge you one space of movement, right? Out of your 5. You get 12 to hit. That misses Durgle.
Okay. All right, that's not good. I'm gonna sneak back behind the. How much time do I have before the crowd actually?
Oh, that crowd! By the time your turn comes around again, you surmise that there's going to be a lot of people there.
So it's going to be like difficult terrain to get through.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. He's going to have to make athletics checks to get through as well as kind of this difficult terrain. My size. Mm-hmm. He's pretty small, and that's going to be a lot of people. You know how fights are. You get through, you got to push.
Can I come out and attempt to go into that little barrel?
That barrel is going to be cut off as well. Like the crowd's lining up here.
Just around the perimeter.
You're going around the whole perimeter. You need to get inside in order to avoid the crowd.
Okay. What I'll try to do is stay ahead of the crowd. I still don't want them to know that I am actually part of the group.
You can. I'll tell you what I'll let you do. We'll do like an Assassin's Creed thing, where you can get to the front of the crowd and yell "fight."
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
You're gonna blend into the crowd. I'm gonna have you roll a deception check for this.
Ooh.
And the lie is, I'm part of the crowd. I'm not in the fight.
Okay.
All right. With that roll, you will head towards the front of the crowd, and you're going, fight, 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 fight. But your eyes are dancing around the field a bit much, and people go, hey, they're one of Goober's friends, says the orc, and you're caught out. All right. Will that end your turn?
It does.
All right. Artbirth, it is your turn.
Artbirth's still a little angry that his last attack miss. With us having him flanked, I roll with advantage, right?
That's correct. Yep, you roll with advantage.
Yeah, I forgot to do that last time.
You didn't need it, though.
Well, I could have critted.
You could have. That's true.
Artbirth unfurls his wings a little bit and raises his hands over his head and pulls out his 2 short swords.
I believe you also get sneak attack on flanking.
Yeah, I sure do. You bet your butt I do. And I'm going to try to hit.
I thought that was like a level 2 feat, though. Are we sure about that?
Sneak attack once per turn. You can deal an extra d6 damage to one creature you hit with an attack, a finesse, or ranged weapon if you have advantage on the attack roll.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that works. Go ahead. You got sneak attack on this one.
Yeah, you don't need advantage on the attack roll if another enemy target is within 5 feet of the enemy. So, like with Tanantha being like 5 feet in.
Yeah, you're good. You got him flanked. You have advantage. You get sneak attack roll. So yes, go ahead and make your attack roll with advantage.
Ooh, still miss.
That's pretty rough. For the halfling, that misses.
Gotcha. Wow,
I swung too high.
Poop today. Can I then use my bonus action with my two-handed weapon or two-weapon fighting?
You can. You can make another attack roll, but you cannot add your proficiency bonus to the attack.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and give it another shot to hit him.
And this will also be at advantage.
Oh, I didn't do advantage.
Let's just roll again.
Okay, advantage roll.
Oh,
I hit him.
Well, you hit him. Yeah, the first one should have been. It should have just done a regular roll because you rolled again. But that's fine. You hit. All right. So go ahead and roll your damage, but I'm going to subtract your proficiency bonus,
Which is +2.
Yep. And then
Okay.
you can roll your sneak attack.
Sneak attack.
Yep.
So 3 damage total. Quick math.
Yep. 3 damage total. Quick math. Thank you very much. And the halfling takes 3 points of damage. All right. Good to go there, Ardworth?
Yeah. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sidestep a little bit of a ways from the rope over towards like Tenantha's side
Okay.
of the halfling, just to give myself a little space and I can't get stabbed over the fence.
Yep. All right. He could have stabbed you before. Well, I guess he took the assist action, but yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll do it.
All right. The dwarf. The dwarf's a little upset. You tried to charm him. And so what he's going to do is he readies another spear. And he's going to try to hurl it at Goober. He is bound and determined to go after Goober. And he throws the spear and misses Goober wide. The spear impacts into the snake coil. And it's sort of hanging out there. And he goes, "Ha!" And he's very upset. And will decide instead to position himself here. Next to act, the orc. This orc gets right up on you and pushes through the crowd. Let me roll a quick athletics for him. Yep, perfect. He pushes through, and now the crowd's kind of like parting ways for him because they realize, oh no, this dude is is trouble. And the orc gets behind you, and he's going to attack you with his. What is you got? You are not a dwarf. There we go. He is going to. Oh, that's right. He has some other things.
Oh, wow.
Okay, he is going to actually attack you with his claws. This dude's going to open palm hand smack you. Okay? Does a 16 hit your AC? It does.
Unfortunately, it does.
Okay. You're going to take interesting little bit of damage here.
I bet.
Okay. You are going to take 5 points of damage plus 1 point of necrotic damage.
Goody.
Goody, goody, goody.
I fell down to one knee. Well,
You don't need to fall to
I'm
one knee.
already
So
down
like I
there.
mentioned yesterday, so something just to bear in mind. How you visualize your HP is up to you. But the way I visualize it is that, for the most part, your HP is a measure of your grit and your determination and your heroism. Yes, you get hit and your HP kind of starts to go low, but you still have full access to your faculties. Everything's fine. You can have access to all of your abilities. You're still heroic. The problem is that when you run out of that heroism, when you just push yourself to the brink, that's when you finally get hit and get knocked unconscious or something happens to you, okay? So do bear in mind, you have full access to all of your mental capabilities. You're still a heroic adventurer. You're not bleeding out or anything. You're kind of in a spot of, that you're coming at the end of your rope. Like they got you up against the wall. That's sort of how it looks.
Gotcha.
I might mention things like bloodied or mortal or wounded about the NPCs, but that's my way of kind of giving you HP indicators.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. And that will conclude the orc's turn. Now, I need to let you know, Taylor, this orc stinks. He reeks. He is rancid. Kira, you're next.
All right. I can see the orc and Durgle, right?
You can see the orc and Durgle from where you
Okay.
are. Yep.
I'm going to use Word of Radiance, which is a con saving throw.
All right. And so each creature of your choice that you can see within a range, that range being 5 feet.
Oh, it's 5 feet.
Cannot
Okay,
do
so I
that.
cannot hit them. Okay, so, but I can hit the other two in front of me.
Yeah, you can hit the 2 people in front of you. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's fine.
All right. So we have to make a con saving throw, and for you it's 13, correct?
Yes.
All right.
The dwarf and the halfling.
All right.
And so I utter a divine word, and I'm just like, "Stop this madness!" kind of thing. Like, get to
They
your senses.
both fail their saving throws.
All right.
So go ahead and roll the spell's damage.
Oh yes, 6.
Oh,
Max
wow.
damage.
Max damage. There we go. 6 points of damage to the dwarf and the halfling. Let me apply that damage now. And how would you like to emote that? That was pretty strong.
I just kind of get like a burning intensity within me of like, just everyone stop kind of thing. Like, leave us alone.
All right, with that, she goes, stop! And this magical aura kind of emanates from her voice. And people with any type of magic training, if you'd like to roll Arcana checks, you can go ahead and do it. And in this flicker of just power that comes from her voice, this word itself pierces the consciousness of the halfling and the dwarf. Radiates with a certain power that's a bit foreign to you. The halfling bandit is struck. His eyes widen, his mouth agape, and appears as though psychically within him, his being is mortally wounded. And the dwarf shudders, bloodied. With that Arcana check of 12, you know that Kira can get really loud sometimes.
Uber noticed.
And Artbirth, you're not quite sure what that was. She's a cleric. That's what she does. You know? It's a thing. All right. Is that the end of your turn there, Kira?
It sucks that I have so few spell slots at level 1. Shoot. I'm debating on whether to heal Taylor or wait. But I'm the last to act, so that means that if he gets hit again, he would probably be down. Can I use Healing Word when they're incapacitated? Like when he's...
Yes, you can.
Okay, so it's not a, But if he takes damage more than... What is it? More than half of what he's...
For example, if Taylor ends up getting damaged to the point where his HP drops to 0, and then his full HP beyond that.
So 12, basically?
12 would basically mean he would instantly die.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Healing Word now.
Okay.
On him.
Thank you.
And that is 7. So he's back up to full health.
All right. Taylor, you take 7 points of healing, so go ahead and adjust your HP accordingly.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to figure out how I can get out of here to touch the orbs to get my spell slots back.
It'll be difficult now.
I
With all
know.
these people around.
All right. That's the end of your turn. This bandit, haggard and desperate, steps forward. And flanking Tanantha will go ahead and make an attack roll.
And I'm using my warding flare. And he's blinded.
Do you want to know
And-
the result of the die roll first?
No.
Oh, I see if he hits or misses.
I mean, it doesn't say that I should. It just says when you are attacked by a creature. Oh, I guess it's once it hits. I don't know.
Do you want to know the result? Is what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Okay. 14. Does that hit your AC?
No.
All right, he misses. Now, do you want to use that reaction?
No.
Okay.
That's what I was wondering is can I know what their attack roll is before I use it?
Yeah,
Is
you're
it
doing a reaction, so you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Got it.
All right. And that will be the end of the bandit's turn. Durgle! How long does this thing last? Wait, Taylor Toley, is Tasha's Hideous Laughter a concentration?
Concentration.
Let me double check this. I feel like he needs to be able to get up by now.
Yes.
Yes,
Concentration.
that is a
Up to 1 minute.
concentration. When you got hit, go ahead and what was it, a Constitution saving throw to keep concentration?
I think so.
Yes.
What's the DC for that? I can't remember offhand.
10 plus half the damage.
Okay, go ahead and roll yourself a Constitution saving throw, please. And there's no damage to this. So,
I mean, it's damage that he took.
Yeah, the damage that he took when he got hit. So,
So he
what
took
did he
6,
take?
so it would be 3.
He took 6, so yeah, it'd be a 13.
13. And okay, you continue concentrating on this spell. It lasts up to a minute. We haven't done 6 rounds yet, but we're getting there. Oh gosh. Okay, Durgle.
Stay down.
Stay down. Guess what?
He got up. Oh, he's down.
He goes. He takes half his movement to stand up. And he looks around. And sees what's going on. So he's finally kind of coming to his bearings now. And he goes, oh. And he is going to jump the fence. And succeeds his athletics check to do so.
Oh.
As a bonus action, he's going to take advantage of his aggression feat and move up to Goober.
Of course.
And he's going to take out his scimitar. $15. Does that hit your AC?
Yeah.
All right.
Dude.
It do. All right. 6 points of damage to Goober.
Oh.
Alright. Hurting for certain, but I'm up still.
After Durgle's turn, you guys, after this right now, you notice that there is a huge crowd. And there's a lot of people just cheering, mostly students at this point. However, it's very apparent when a teacher is around. You can feel their penetrating gaze fall upon you at any moment, right? And you notice one, an owlin. Male owlin sort of just sitting, standing by this trash barrel here with the crowd at this angle, right about here. I don't know if you can barely see my mouse here, but right about there-ish. And he's watching. He's definitely a professor. He's not cheering or anything, but he's just watching. Doesn't do anything to stop the battle. All right, Goober, it is your turn.
I should have just stayed in the cave with the other goblins.
Okay, so shoot. So Goober's pretty hurt, and he kind of looks at himself, and realizes that he's in a bad way, and
I wish I could feel better.
and then heals. It should be one because I'm going to use one, so only 1d6 here.
Okay. You want to use one of those? Okay.
There we go. There's 5 hit points back. I'll take that.
Yeah, go ahead and heal yourself 5 hit points. Make sure to knock off that glow finger slot there.
Yep, I did.
Okay, good.
So his hand kind of glows, his finger glows, and some of his wounds kind of stitch themselves up. And then he takes a look at the dude right in front of him and realizes that he doesn't really have much to go on here, so he's gonna do what he's had to do a few times, living in his cave with his family, and he's gonna shank somebody with a dagger to keep him away from him.
Oh, okay, you're not using the long stabby, you're using the short stabby?
Short stabby.
All right, go for the short stabby. All right, 12. That does not hit.
Of course it don't. All right, well, there we go. That's it. That's the turn.
I wish you rolled higher. I really do wish you hit higher.
Me too.
You know what? I wish you hit higher so much that I will provide you a DM inspiration to roll again.
Oh, well, then.
We're here to tell cool stories together. I really want you to hit.
How about a 15?
How about 15 hits. It just makes it. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Yeah, that's 6 points of damage.
That's 6 points of damage. So after Goober heals himself touches himself with his bright glow finger, he goes, "Enough!" And then just straight stabs Durgle. Durgle, taking damage, falls unconscious. 6 points? Okay.
Yeah, 6.
All right. Durgle is unconscious.
And as he falls...
You want your Durgle to be alive, you better stop it!
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. 13.
All right. Oof. Usually to end a combat like that, I need a higher roll. I usually try to set that around 15. So yeah, unfortunately,
no, it's fine.
They hear you and they're like, Durgle, Durgle, Durgle. All right.
Durgle about to gurgle.
Okay. Oh gosh, is that the end of your turn there, Goober?
That is the end of my turn, yes.
Totally. You're feeling better, but dude, there is a stinky half-orc behind you. This dude reeks. Durgle,
I am going to cast Tasha's Hideous Laugh on him.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll. Oh wait, I have to make a roll. What's the DC? What's the saving throw? Yeah, what's the saving throw?
Oh,
12?
Sorry, 1 second. I think it's blah 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 blah. Saving throw 12. Yes.
Yep. Okay. He succeeds his saving throw. So I don't believe that any effect happens when he succeeds.
No, none at all.
He kind of goes, ha ha ha, and his breath as he haws into your face is just absolutely rancid.
I'm like, oh.
Oh, dude, it's so bad. You're gonna need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh man,
this dude reeks. All right, you managed to hold down your lunch, but this guy stinks. Okay. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
If I use disengage as a bonus action, right?
You do what?
If I use disengage.
Yeah, that's well, no, I think you need a certain feat to get that. Goober, you have a feat for that, don't you?
It's part of my racial.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a racial
I thought
trait,
it was a rogue thing.
nimble escape.
I thought it was a rogue thing. Okay.
I think you might actually have nimble escape. Hold
Wait,
on,
hold on,
let me double check your feats here. You have naturally
Sure.
stealthy.
Rogue.
No, he has got Lalafell and nimbleness. Nope. See, he is not able to use it as a
No,
bonus
I do
action. So there you go. Nope.
Darn it.
He is a rogue, but I don't think he has that feat.
I do
No,
not.
it's a level 2 ability.
Yeah, so he can't do that yet.
Fiddlesticks. Well, I guess I'll just stay here and babysit this guy.
Okay. Yeah, you have his full attention. Oh.
Okay, I'll end my turn there.
All right, end your turn there. Understood. All right, next up, Ardberth Silverflock. Care to be useful during this combat?
You know, everybody else seems to have it. Like Gooper's holding it down over there. I mean, he's got Dargle down, right? Like, second verse. same
Not
as the
very good
first.
with Boomfinger, but short stabby. Yeah, that's good.
I'm gonna go for the halfling again with the short sword.
Okay, you're going to go for the halfling again with the short sword. All
We're
right.
flanking him, right?
Oh, you are flanking. You can roll with advantage, and if you hit, you can apply your sneak attack. Yep.
I will definitely do that. Advantage, roll.
All right, 23. That hits. Go ahead and roll your damage. Oof.
So that's 8.
8 points of damage to our poor bandit. All right, he takes 8 points of damage, and he falls unconscious.
Nice.
Okay. Well, you still have a bonus action, movement. What else you want to get in?
Can I do a movement then bonus, or is it just bonus immediately after
You could
combat?
do a movement then bonus.
All right, I'm gonna do.
I think you can, right? Is it immediately after the attack you can do
The
another
the bonus action tells you when you can use it as far
one?
as
Yeah, I'm
timing goes.
checking it.
I'm checking my.
Yeah, Ardberth, you have the 2-weapon fighting. Everybody pretty much
Yeah,
has
it's
that.
whenever you attack an attack with a light melee weapon, you can use a bonus action. So.
After you attack with a light melee weapon. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I think you... That seems like immediate to me, so...
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. There you go.
Can I step over? No, because he's occupying that space, right?
Who? This guy?
The gnome.
I mean, you can move through a space, you just can't end your turn there. That'll be like
Excellent, then
difficult terrain.
I'm gonna fly over the dwarf and get on the other side of the dwarf.
Yeah, you can do that. You can fly, and you're on the other
I'm gonna
side of
do
the
that.
dwarf. All right, perfect. Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else you'd like to do?
I have no other bonus actions, so no.
Okay. It is back to the dwarf, and the dwarf is quite frustrated at this point with Kira. He is looking at her as though she is a monster, and he lashes out at her as though his life is on the line. And he drops his spear to the floor, and he cries out in agony. He kneels down, picks up his spear, and continues to engage, if only to defend himself.
That looked dumb.
I told you guys to stop.
He rolled a 1.
Yep.
Or
All
bugger.
right. He was ready to fight. Okay. Let's see here. Ooh. Okay. This orc is squaring up with his Lalafell. And he's going to go ahead and attack with his claws again. He hits such a terrible ferocity Oh. Okay. Just had it. Make sure I had all the dice in the. Okay. Good. Okay.
Oh no.
Just have to make sure you guys hear that a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
All right. You take 4 points of damage plus 2 points of necrotic damage. 6 points total. Totally.
How bad do you look?
It looks pretty bad.
Okay.
He's still holding on, though. Thanks to Kira's healing. But he's still holding on. And then after that, the orc does something weird. He runs by you, provoking an attack of opportunity. So go ahead and make an attack roll, Taylor, if you would like to take that attack of opportunity. That hits. Go ahead and roll damage. All right, that's 5 points of damage to the orc. Okay, beautiful. He runs by you and closes in right out here, facing Kira head on. And that is where he will end his turn. Kira, your turn.
All right. I'm gonna do Word of Radiance again. So that's the Constitution saving throw. 13.
Okay, and that's your second spell slot?
No, those are cantrips.
That's it.
I could do this all day.
Holy crap. Okay.
It's only 1d6, so that's, yeah.
Saving throws 13, correct? For
Yes.
a Constitution?
Constitution.
Okay. All right. The dwarf fails his Constitution saving throw. The orc succeeds. So go ahead and roll your damage. And is that half
Okay.
damage or no damage for those who succeed?
No damage.
No damage.
Yeah,
Okay, so this is just being applied to the dwarf. Go ahead and
Yeah.
roll your
1.
All right. The dwarf takes 1 point of damage. All right. And that was a bonus action?
No, that was my action.
Okay.
So, and as I'm doing that, I kind of say, like, this needs to end.
Are you trying to persuade them to stop fighting?
Not necessarily.
Okay, cool. You're
It's
just
just
emoting.
like the, uttering a divine word kind of thing.
Oh, okay, got it. That's what. Yeah,
Yeah,
uttering
yeah,
the
yeah.
divine. I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
And then let me see. Yeah, that's all I got, I think. So, yeah, so that's the end of my turn.
All right. Next act is. Oh gosh, these people are all unconscious. Goober, it's you.
All right, so Goober takes a look and looks at his finger that glowed earlier and healed him, and points it at his friend Tally, and heals him for 3 points of damage,
Okay.
and then drops down with his dagger, straddling Durgle, picks that dagger up right above his chest, and yells as loud as his little goblin voice can carry, "If one more of you attack, I stab him in the neck!"
Oh gosh. Let's do that as an intimidation roll.
That's a 16.
Wow, that's
Don't
about
mess
as
with
intimidating Goober's been in a long time. Okay.
Goober's grown up very rough. He's very nice, but he's had to grow up in a very rough environment, so
All
he's got
right.
a streak.
Okay, and so we're gonna move on, and is that the end of your turn?
Yep, absolutely. Bonus
All
action
right.
and then the action to ready an attack that if any of these other dudes attack, I'm stabbing this dude.
Okay. Taylor Tolley. Your turn.
I'm going to walk up behind that orc.
Okay.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh, that's exactly how much I need.
Yep, I'll put you in flanking if you want.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And I am going to stab him in the back.
Okay, go ahead and stab him in the back.
Let's go.
That hits. Damage.
Oh, he didn't roll with advantage on the attack.
Go ahead and roll your attack roll again.
Oh, yeah.
See if you get a 20. But you do hit.
Right. Hey.
You don't
good.
get a 20, but all right, go ahead and roll your damage. And
All
this
right.
will get your sneak attack damage added into it.
Thank you. Let's go down here.
Okay. That is, oh my gosh. Okay, you do 11 points of
Wow.
damage to the orc. And the orc cries out, but he's very sturdy.
Wow.
And he's breathing real heavy. All right.
I'll end my turn there.
Okay. Ardberth. Your turn.
I'm gonna stab the dwarf in the back.
Stab the dwarf in the back. You have him flanked. Your sneak attack will work. Okay, 17 hits.
And then sneak attack and regular damage. Did that not click for the sneak attack damage?
I don't see it.
I don't see it. There it is. All right, so you hit for
13.
13 points of damage against the dwarf. The dwarf falls unconscious.
I couldn't agree more, Kira. This needs to end.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
No, I'm gonna shuffle on over right next to the orc.
Okay, you shuffle right next to the orc. As you approach the orc, you know he stunk quite a bit for a while, but his scent is tremendously powerful after being stabbed in the back, and it is almost too much to bear how much this orc stinks.
Awesome. So, con saving throw.
No.
Okay.
I'm just covering my mouth and my nose with my other hand.
All right. Does that end your turn?
Yeah, it sure does.
The orc, realizing that he has been soundly defeated, takes no action whatsoever to attack anyone, but instead he rips off his jacket and throws it onto the ground. And he cries out, and what you see on this dude's chest and back and his belly is that he is bloated, and it is lots of strange green oozes floating around inside of him. And he cries out, "Vengeance!" And then he takes his own claws and rips his own flesh and explodes.
Wow.
Oh.
Ew.
Any creature
What was
within
that?
10 feet of it must make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw.
Let's go, Constitution.
Couldn't have been.
Yeah.
Dex
So
to
that's
get out
the
of
entire
way.
party except for Durgle.
Could have been Dex to get out of the way. No.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Taylor, you save. Kira, you save.
Would
It's
that
gonna
count
be
as an
rough.
attack as far as
He-
Goober's ready to action?
I would not call it an attack. He didn't strike anybody. He just cut himself.
He just blew up. Okay,
he blew
gotcha.
up. He blew
No
up.
worries.
Yep. All right. So I wouldn't say that triggers your attack, but ultimately, I suppose it's up
No
to
worries.
you. Okay.
Yeah, no worries. That's fine.
Yep.
Couldn't have made it
Ardbirth.
couldn't have made it Dex. You just couldn't have let me get out of the way.
Okay, excuse me one quick second. I'm gonna see here. I need to get my dice in order. Okay, here we go.
No.
Just wanted to
Cooper ain't
just
seen
real
an
quick
explosion like
just-
that since Uncle Boris's boil.
I got all 4 of it.
Oh my god.
All right.
Oh my goodness. All ones. All ones.
Constitution, not Dex. Up yours, PW.
Ardbirth.
Yeah.
You take 14 points of damage.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm down for the count.
We'll go ahead and put you as unconscious. Kaylee and Kira, you take 7 points of damage.
Oh, I'm down.
Okay, yep, you are down. And Kira, how are you doing?
I'm up.
Okay.
That's the only time that I got hit by anything. I've got 2 HP left.
All right. And thus ends the round of combat. Everybody else is either unconscious or, well, this dude's straight
And
splatted.
I was going to say,
He's
I was like,
off.
is this dude dead? That's
This
what I
dude,
wanted to know.
He
Is he dead?
exploded. There are pieces of him all over the place.
Oh.
He straight exploded. Oh, when he exploded, he said, Durgal! Yeah, there we go. I forgot to put that little detail in there.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, yeah. And Kira and Goober, you have 2 unconscious friends. I'm going to keep you guys in initiative order so as to I know when to make death saving throws. So at this point, Kira, you are next to act. What would you like to do?
Can I run over and touch one of the orbs?
Yes, you can. But it's going to take. Let's go ahead and see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can use your action to extend your movement speed, and I'll let you touch it as a bonus action.
Yep, do that.
All right, cool. So that is 7 squares. You touch it as your bonus action. Your spell slots are restored.
Okay. Can you just move me back since I have the full?
Yep. So you've already
Movement.
moved 1. So now we're gonna
Not
2,
all the way, but just like into the roped area again.
3, 4, 5. This would be 6.
Okay,
That would be
that's
your
fine.
full movement. Yep. But
Okay.
you cannot. You've used bonus actions and your action to move and your move action. You're all out.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. You're next to act, Goober. What do you want to do?
So Goober kind of looks at his quarry that's sitting underneath him and just kind of like, yeah, whatever, and just stands up and sprints as fast as he can to get to the nearest friend that is knocked down.
That is knocked down?
Yes, that is knocked down.
Okay, that would probably be Ardbirth.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I don't know.
1,
Can I get all the way there?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if you're sprinting that, but this is 6. So you're within range.
Gun range. Okay. So I'm gonna look him over and see if I can see any obvious types of wounds or anything like that I can like try to put my little goblin hands on or anything like that to staunch the flow.
Okay, well, he was right there at the epicenter of the explosion, and he did a terrible job of dodging. So what you can see with your goblin eyes is that he is covered in these green pustules, and his flesh is boiling all over. It is not looking good.
No.
Oh, if you want to make a medicine check, I don't know
Yeah.
if a medicine kit to help
I'll do
stabilize,
that.
but all right.
I'll make a medicine check real quick here. I can do 6. I probably don't know.
Yeah, he's as far as you're concerned, this dude is not long for this world if he's even still alive.
Okay. So okay, how far did that was 6, 7, Since I already saw my other friend run over and try to touch that orb, Goober has no other idea what to do, so he's just going to follow suit. He doesn't know what it's necessarily going to do, but if other friend did it, he's going to do it because maybe it'll help. So I don't know how much movement I have left, but he's going to use the rest of his movement to, since he already had to use, 7 to get there?
Mhm.
So it'd be another 5 spaces towards that orb, and that'll end his turn.
Okay. I want to let you move through these spaces because they're unconscious.
He used 6,
1,
right,
2.
to get to that corner?
I thought he used 6 too, but
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that's as far as you can get. All right. Yeah, well, he's an explosion radius of 15. He was a con saving throw, Valaris, but I'll let you know right now, that's how that move worked. I didn't make up the move either. It's called Corrupted Carrier, okay? Calm down. All
I'll
right,
fight you.
it's what it is. All right, and then I will be making your death saving throw tailing. Okay. And now I'll be making yours, Ardbirth. Okay. Kira, your next act.
You making the death saving throws for the other guys too?
Yeah. Don't worry about
Okay.
that.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna move to Taily
Okay, you move to tailing.
and use Healing Hands, which restores 1 hit point.
Okay, go ahead and do that.
That's an action.
Okay, Taily, you are stabilized and you are back up 1 HP.
And then I'm going to use, as a bonus action, Healing Word on Ardbirth.
All right, healing word on Ardbirth. All right. And
that is,
roll the heal.
4 points of damage, or 4 points of health.
All right, Ardbirth and Taily, you are back up. You are no longer fighting for your lives.
Thank you, my friend.
Now, 1 second while I roll for a poor halfling who's been in this position for about 3 rounds. Okay. And then I need a roll for the dwarf who's been here for 2 rounds. Okay. And then I need a roll for Durgle who's been there for 2 rounds. Okay. All right. At this point, next act would be Goober.
Yeah, so making the rest of my way and touching the orb. I'm not looking behind me. I don't know what's happening behind me. I just know that friend touched orb, I'm touch orb.
Okay, you touch orb as a bonus
then-
action. So that was 3.
Yep. So that's probably just going to recover my spell slots, correct?
All your spell slots. All of
Yeah,
them.
so just my packed spells.
No, you're like literally any slot that you had that you use, including your glow fingers.
Okay.
Yep, all of
Might
it's
as well
back.
do a long rest.
It's like you had a long rest without the healing. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then I turn around, but I guess everyone's kind of healed already at this point.
Yep, you see that everybody's kind of healed. Yep.
Oh, okay.
I guess we're done here, huh?
All right. So we'll go ahead and
I was ready to heal, and then
does
turn around and went,
anybody want to check on Durgle?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to say you work together and you move together to go check on Durgle.
Can I make a medicine check on him?
You can
honest,
make a medicine check on
Goober does
Durgle.
not give a crap about Durgle at this point in time.
So then you're just going to hang out back here.
Oh, shoot. Come on. That's the time I roll low.
Durgle is definitely on the floor and he's having a bad time. And it's about at this moment you notice some people moving through the crowd, but they haven't quite made it to you yet. Anybody else want to do anything else?
I'm gonna check bodies for
Can I go ahead and,
gold.
since I don't know if he's dead or not, I want to go ahead and use a cantrip called Spare the Dying.
Okay.
You touch a living creature that has 0 hit points, the creature becomes stable.
Okay.
So does that have any effect on Durgle?
It does.
Okay.
Durgle is
Durgle not
stabilized.
laugh so much now. Durgle not laugh at Goober. Durgle on the floor.
All right. At this point, the two individuals who are pushing through the crowd finally get through. And a pair of familiar voices to you, Kira, echo through the courtyard. What is going on over here? What is And there's like entrails of green all over the place. There's blood from the people who were stabbed. You know, almost everybody got knocked out or KO'd. I think everybody but two. This was a fight. And what in the blazes? And then his eyes fall on Kira. Kira? Is
that Goober?
Is that you?
I assume that's my parents.
That is Thomas and Eliana Wiles.
I take it you know these people, Kira?
Hi, Mom and Dad.
What in the... And then they look to their left and they see the instructor who was watching the whole time. And they go, Holden, why didn't you stop this madness? And he's just... Holden kind of shakes himself briefly and goes, he seems mystified, like kind of surprised. I'm sorry, I thought there was something, but it's not. And he stammers.
Why not stop the madness?
And then Thomas
Mom,
and
Dad,
Eliana.
we were.
Not a word. You.
But they
you,
started it.
You, and you. Pointing to you and all your friends, Kira. Follow Eliana. She's taking you to detention.
Mom, I swear, we were just defending ourselves.
What's retention?
In
then-
short, Goober, we're going to timeout.
Eliana Wiles is escorting you and your group to detention. Meanwhile, Thomas is clearly seen tending to the wounded as you leave.
Can we at least take a shower first?
No, says
I'm covered.
Eliana deeply. We have to follow a certain protocol and procedure. I would think very strongly about what you're going to tell, well, whoever decides to question you. It cannot be me. I trust, as my daughter, you had a good reason, and I hope that the truth comes out. Clearly, she's still believing that you're innocent, but this was the last thing they ever wanted to see.
Yeah, the truth is, this is a bunch of big old jerks.
Goober!
Shh, Goober, that's my mom. She's doing what she has to.
Well,
Could I roll
Your-
persuasion?
your mom is nice, but she don't know the dims jerks.
Yes, they were rude to you.
What are you trying to persuade Eliana?
Trying to let us go shower first because I'm covered in somebody else's guts, and that's kind of gross.
It is
Disease
pretty
and
gross.
disease damage.
Go ahead and roll persuasion on a shower.
14.
All right, go ahead and say what you want to say.
Madam, apologies for the scene, but if we could please, as your daughter asked, shower. We're covered in entrails. All of us were a little surprised. I myself, especially. While there is procedure, I do think that perhaps in order to prevent potential sickness or infection of spreading about the campus, from the necrotic, what I can assume to be necrotic, I've seen black magic before, entities, we might be able to get this goop off of us at the very least.
She looks over and she sniffs the air and she goes, yeah, you do need a shower, you reek. Okay, very well, but you will be monitored.
But of course.
What's a shower?
And so, needless to say, there's some contact being made. There's some, people coming, teachers, administrative staff, etc. Have been kind of summoned to greet you at the one of the instructional facilities. It's basically like a side classroom that happens to be connected to a gymnasium and has showers. While being escorted and thoroughly watched, you shower, I would imagine, and you are provided a fresh set of uniforms for Year 1 students, and your belongings, however, have been confiscated at the time being. And they lead you to a room. After all this, they're not letting you talk to each other. They're not letting you engage with anyone.
Gotcha.
You're under tight guard here. So unless anyone wants to do something stupid, please speak now or forever hold your peace.
I was just
So is
gonna
this
make sure
like
that Goober
magical
grabs soap.
breakfast club?
It might be going in that direction. We'll see.
Yeah, I just follow along.
Okay. No one wants to do anything stupid.
No,
Cooper
I'm not trying
knows
to get
a lot of
any more
things, and
trouble.
he knows when he's in trouble, so he's not going to do anything at this point.
Okay, fantastic. So you get escorted into detention by Eliana, and Eliana and a few others are still there with you, but eventually an Owlin woman walks into the room along with a small furry compatriot. She's wearing a yellow hood and has strange tall bunny ears out of it and a face of a mouse with blue overalls. And the Owlin you might recognize as Mavinda Sharpbeak, the guidance counselor. Mavinda walks in. Very well, Eliana, my dear. I'm so sorry. You had to see your daughter like this, but I'm afraid I must ask you to leave. We've got it. And Eliana says thank you and steps out of the room. Procedures, of course. You can't linger, Eliana. I know you would like to. And Eliana nods, of course, and she leaves. And then Mavinda turns and goes, "Greetings, students. You are now under my care, and it is my responsibility to get to the bottom of why you were made so angry today. We're going to talk about our feelings. We're going to talk about what makes us angry, and we're going to talk about strategies on how we manage our anger. Joining me today is a good friend from the realm of the Theris. Her name is Soothing Way, and she came to learn about...
Oh no.
She came to learn and observe about how humans or other beings respond when they get angry or put into uncomfortable positions. And Soothing Way sort of lifts her head up curiously. "Hello, I'm just here to observe. Go on ahead. Scoundrels. Yes, scoundrels. Is that what they are? We don't say it, and they have yet to been proven guilty, Soothing Way. Please. Oh, right. Yeah, carry on." And she begins writing feverishly. And Mavinda shakes her head and goes, "So, you will be questioned by one of the deans here shortly, but before we do that, I wanted to ask, were you so angry to the point of fighting? What makes you angry? What aggravates you?" She directs the question to all of you.
Getting
If I may.
stabbed? But we're not like that at all.
Yes, we were. The Goober was accosted and unceremoniously stabbed, and so we, as his friends, leapt into action to defend him, and the others did the same.
I see. And this being unceremoniously stabbed, Goober, how did that make you feel?
You're joking.
Mavinda's listening, and if anybody wants to make an Arcana check.
Goober bleed, let the blood come out.
Yeah, I'll make an Arcana check. Why not?
Yeah, go ahead, make an Arcana check.
Nope, don't notice anything.
I rolled a 10.
I rolled a
You
1.
know there's some magics in the air, but you're not really quite sure what she's doing. So how does that make you feel?
Or say, blood come out. Scary.
Scary. You felt scared. So sometimes when
Yeah,
we get...
Goober not want to die.
Of course, and that's reasonable, and I understand. When we get scared, we sometimes have one of two responses. You can fight, which is what you did, or you can run.
No, Goober tried to run first. They did not let Goober.
I see. Was he pinned down or restrained in any way? She looks at everybody else.
No, he attempted to flee, and then they chased after him and stabbed him.
Okay. Well, that sounds like quite the story. And seeing your friend stabbed, how did that make you feel, Kira?
Well, he was trying to defend himself, and I had to do something.
Yeah, she real loud and made him go, ow, my ears!
Soothing Way lets out a brief chuckle and then catches herself. Mavinda shoots her a sharp glare and then turns back to you, Kira. So how did that make you feel?
I was angry that they weren't listening to reason and just went to fighting, and we had to defend ourselves.
And, Totally correct from Atheris. And then Soothing Way perks up and says, huh, and she runs out the door. What was that about? Mafinda asks, and anyway, turns back and looks, Totally.
Yes.
I'm curious, where were you when Goober got stabbed?
When Goober got stabbed, I didn't even know that. I was unaware that he did get stabbed. I was by the orbs, trying to figure out how to use them. And I turned around and I saw this bully who was bullying him earlier near him. So I figured something was going on. I didn't really know that there was trouble until I saw my friends here. I saw their faces, and there was concern and shock on their face. And that's when I figured that something weird was going on. And so we tried to help our friend, our little friend. Like me, he is vertically challenged, and
We're very small.
yes, so I know he gets picked on. I got picked on a lot in my own town, so I just wanted to help him out and make sure that he was okay.
I see. And at that moment, the door opens up, and a woman in a tall, pointed hat, not the same one, this one's younger, a bit more jubilant, with very tight-fitting robes that are blue and regal purple with turquoise mixed in, very, very neat, cool, fractal designs working through her robe. She walks into the door, and she looks around, and she looks right at Taylor, and she says, now tell me, did Goober get stabbed before or after you cast Tasha's hideous laughter? Looking right at Taylor.
I really am not sure.
You can't recall?
Arborth just kind of stares at Taylor.
No, he was
Had to
laughing the
have-
whole time. There was no spells.
Yes, he was laughing at Goober
The
for
whole
missing.
time.
Yeah.
Huh. So you guys go
I roll
to
insight.
the most. You roll insight? Go ahead and roll insight.
Roll inside just for the
Oh,
body
what are you
language,
trying
whatever.
to. You're just reading body language?
Trying to discern whether this woman's one of the dragon guard that were mentioned earlier.
Oh, okay.
15.
Okay. From her mannerisms and her body language, you're not able to discern if she's like a Dragon's Guard member or anything like that. But you are able to discern that she is acting in a manner as though she already knows exactly what happened.
Taylor, whatever happened, just be honest.
So you expect me to think that Durgal, on his own, was laughing while his friends were stabbing and accosting you. Is that accurate? And he did this all
It's
on his
not.
own? It's not.
It is not. I'll be honest.
Okay. She folds her arms and she listens. She listens intently.
The group was indeed making fun of Goober.
Uh-huh.
They've been making fun of Goober since we've gotten here. I was not aware of how a lot of these magics in this land really work. So when I got a chance, I cast Tasha's,
come along now, spit it out. You cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter and you made him fall over, correct? Is that about right? And that was before Goober was stabbed,
it was
correct?
before Goober was stabbed. I did not realize it would cause such a scene, but I thought he was just going to laugh.
They stabbed me because of you?
Now,
Apparently,
I'm going to be completely real with you all. And she kind of cracks a smile and she goes, Tasha's Hideous Laughter is a phenomenal joke. I use it from occasion. It's quite fun. Great prank. Harmless. No damage is done with Tasha's Hideous Laughter. You are but students at a festival having a good time, and there was a bully who accosted you, if I'm not mistaken, along with a whole group of folk who were pointing and laughing when you came here simply to have fun and to learn. And you cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Is that right, Tally?
That sounds correct. That
Brilliant!
sounds accurate.
Absolutely brilliant, non-lethal, non-damaging, all in good fun joke. Quite frankly, Durgle had it coming. The stabbing and then the subsequent bombing of a very uncomfortable nature it was certainly inexcusable. And at that point, after being stabbed and accosted in such a violent, ferocious manner, I certainly cannot fault you for your behavior. That being said, Kira, your mother was quite concerned. She does have one question, and out of respect for my colleague's wife, was fighting your only recourse?
They had us surrounded. And I could tell by their body language that if I had tried to leave, they would have attacked us.
Okay.
I didn't want to leave my friends and not be able to heal them.
So you stayed to protect your friends?
And do what I could, yes. I tried to tell the others to stop.
I see. Well, Mavinda, can you please leave the room? Mavinda nods and says, yeah, of course, I'll be outside the door. And by the way, your little lubberate friend just went scurrying down the hall. Strange creature. Mavinda goes, I don't know what got into her. She's usually quite studious. I'll check in on her. Okay. And Mavinda walks out. And the lady turns back and looks at you all and says, you have two options. I've ascertained good report, had a chance to actually talk to Durgle and the crowd who watched, and had my opportunity to investigate the area, and found that there was indeed very strong probabilities that Durgle was the one who incited the incident one way or another, and that you, being students here at Strixhaven, simply did what came natural. Tasha's Hideous Laughter is a phenomenal prank. I really cannot be too upset about that. Actually taking a knife and stabbing someone is far beyond the pale. We cannot allow that, and you defended yourselves admirably. Now you could stay here and be questioned by a few more deans as they decide whether or not you should stay at Strixhaven, or you can follow me. And we can put an end to the charade. What is your choice?
Charade?
Mm-hmm. You and I
What do you
both
mean
know
by that?
you don't deserve punishment for what happened. So we can let this whole charade continue as other people begin to question you, or you can follow me.
Isn't this a little risky to do when the rest of your faculty are under such intense scrutiny after the last dean's incident?
Well, I see it as that I could offer you an opportunity that most other students won't have. You're in a pretty bad spot, because if you were to stay here, it would lead to a disciplinary review board. There's lots of witnesses. Who knows what they think they saw, even though you know the truth of it. If you want to go through that process, you can. Or you can follow me, and you will leave that behind and you can see what adventures await you. It's up to you.
Not
Oh,
much of a
Thursday.
rule breaker. So I feel like we should stay here and get our punishment, but you do make a good point with all those witnesses and varying stories.
I can't
We
risk
love
getting
an
kicked out.
adventure.
I'm out.
Okay, so you're
You
gonna
don't
follow.
want to risk getting kicked out, that is for sure.
Yep.
Goober not know what dysentery is, but don't like the sound of it.
Okay. So disciplinary review boards, you guys are saying you don't want to do that.
No.
Nope.
Goober say no.
I say
Taylor?
no.
No. Okay, perfect. So you guys are you are agreeing to following the woman, correct?
Yeah.
Against my
Yes.
better judgment, but at the same time, like, to save my own skin, yes.
All right. She smiles and she nods. She says, "Okay, 1 second, please." She reaches into her pocket and I'm sorry, Kira, can you open the window back there, please?
Okay. I
And-
use thaumaturgy and open the window.
Okay, perfect. You open the window and she just kind of whispers into the bird's ear and sends it off flying. And she goes, "Before we leave, does anybody know what caused the orc to explode?"
Oh, he smelled all
There was
day.
a
Roll
foul
arc-
stench coming
Roll
from
Arcana?
him. That
Yeah, go ahead and make Arcana. But for you, Ardbirth, I want you to roll something different. I want you to roll History. Everybody else, Arcana.
Goober think he ate too much food.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow. Okay, very good roll from there. And your history check, Ardbirth, would remind you that there are a lot of wars and a lot of fighting going on from the world that you come from, and one of them being of the people who used to serve Nicol Bolas in particular, would actually eat and drink strange substances that would bloat their bodies, and that when defeated in battle, they would explode, causing mass damage to everybody around them.
Okay.
Goober, what you discerned was that this was an afflicted curse, self-inflicted, typically used in people who are incredibly desperate. And it is really something that they're compelled to do it from someone. And essentially, it is an explosion that happens once the creature is no longer living or reduces himself to the point of unconsciousness.
Wait. I think he was accursed. And did the boom because the curse would make him boom.
It was
It
cursed.
could've-
Goober not know why he know that though.
Potentially. In the history of my home, tinctures were drank by soldiers of the fanatical leader who controlled my homeland, and upon death, would explode.
Very, very astute observation, both of you. Yes, it was my conclusion as well that the orc had consumed something. I'm not quite sure. I don't have a sample. That had bloated and infected its body. That when the body expires, it would explode. To what end or why, whether it was ingested purposefully or accidentally, I don't know.
Was it the food that we ate it at the party?
it could
Because
be
Goober
the
ate
drinks.
that dude.
It could be the drinks because when we got to our table, they were over at that area drinking that where the ale is. So I don't know if they drank something or if he drank something.
Oh yeah, they grab it. They grab it all the beers and saying "Durgle, Durgle, Durgle."
Did you grab beers?
no.
No.
None of you grabbed a beer?
Gotta have
No.
my wits about me.
What's a beer?
Oh, okay. I thought y'all had a drink. All right, well, in that case,
I said we got food.
good. You guys ate. Okay, perfect. Follow me, and I'm going to take you somewhere special. So she leads you out towards the northeastern side of the campus. You remember, this is where your dorms are. You were told that your dorms would be on the northeast side of campus. Kira, you've been down here before. You even had tours of the campus and the dorms. But instead of going to the central dormitory that's usually reserved for the first-year students, she leads you to a smaller building, kind of off in the corner to the side. And she leads you in. And once inside, you find yourselves in a round sort of building, very spherical, but a square tray ceiling up top. Various portraits line the border there of that tray ceiling. There's a few tables, and there's 12 rooms, common area, couches and chairs, a bulletin board that's empty, and a bit of a cooking preparatory area. 4 of the doors in this room are closed, and you can kind of hear a few people on the other side as they're getting settled in. And the lady turns around and she says, "Please allow me to introduce myself." Let me make sure I check my notes. Sorry, I want to make sure I get this right. She introduces herself as, my gosh, where did I put this?
He's okay. Goober forget own name sometime too.
Introduces herself. No, I knew her name. I thought she had a last name. She doesn't, actually. It's not in the source material, so that's why I was confused. I am Kian, the Dean of Substance. This is one of the principles of Quandrix. Some of you actually are Quandrix bound, she points at Tali. And I think also, no, you're Silvercore Arbor, right? No. And she also looks... She also looks over at Kira and she says, "My apologies that we haven't had the opportunity to meet before. You see, over the last 4 years, I have been quite wrapped up in a project, and maybe now you might have an understanding as to what that project is. Welcome to the League of Extraordinary Students, or is it the Magnificent Dozen? In any case, you all have heard of Draven Crift, correct? And his gang of 12 and their adventures here at Strixhaven? Surely you've heard."
Yes.
The one who killed the bloodsucker.
Ah, yes, the bloodsucker. Huh. We don't quite find that a laughing matter here, Mr. Ardberth. But, in any case, this was a group not founded by Draven, but of course of yours truly, Kian. You see, I began to become really busy, very busy, trying to manage my own classes, my own students, and the auspices of my office. Oh, and there wasn't enough help in the world, much less good, reliable help, and I hadn't had the time to pursue these mysteries that are going on around the campus, and I began to really run some algorithms,
Right.
yes, math, and I began to work through them, and as I began to calculate how many troubles and mysteries and things that were happening in other realms, I realized that there was a paradox that at Strixhaven, nothing ever seemed to really go wrong, but around the world, things were going wrong all the time. And I crunched the numbers, and I discovered that there were thousands of potentially lingering, hazardous, diabolical events, plans, problems. Thousands. And that number was a wide range, anywhere from between 34,000 to about 678,000 nefarious plots could be unfolding on the campus at any time. Probability, of course, range of probability. And so I founded the League of Extraordinary Students. And for 4 years, from their first year to their 4th year, they went on these adventures and they explored these different leads that they got, and they thwarted many diabolical schemes, including the one that you know of, the one regarding Valentine. So I ran the numbers after they left, and I determined that they had only resolved but a few of these problems, and then, in fact, 94.566666666, repeating, of course, percent of these nefarious plots could still yet exist. And so, I invite you to join the League of Extraordinary Students, the Magnificent Dozen, the Inglorious 12, whatever you want. I invite you to join us. You get the benefit of these private dorms, your own private room. You also get the benefit of advocacy. I will stick up for you, keep you from having to go to these things that are a little troublesome, like disciplinary review boards. If you get in a little bit of trouble, I can bail you out. You have an advocate in me. And in return, you can have your private room, be set aside, and go on adventures with a little bit more, how should I put it, freedom than your traditional students. But it comes at a catch. No one must know that you're a part of this. The reason why Valentine was unsuccessful in tracking down Draven Crypt, was unsuccessful in thwarting their investigation, was because he didn't even know that students were investigating him. They didn't know. He had no idea. It was a very well-kept secret. And until the very end, when he realized he was thwarted by the very students whom he so admonished. So what say you?
So I can't tell my parents?
No, my dear Kira. But they'll know that you are in proper care, and your father and I have a very good working relationship.
What about going home on weekends?
You can go home on weekends. As far as everybody's concerned, you are regular students. You can go home on weekends. You're going to do your extracurricular activities, and I want you to. I want you to have a full Strixhaven experience. But I need a group of students whom I can trust with a few leads on some of the happenings around campus.
What would be the official reason we give for why we don't live with everyone else in the rest of the dormitories?
Oh, as far as they're concerned, this dorm is just a regular dorm. I had it remodeled. As far as the registry is concerned, this is just a regular first-year dorm. It's surplus, actually. It was overflow at one point. But I have since commandeered it. It had deans. I have perks.
Very well.
Well, this is in my school, so it works for me.
Would we be learning about any history while we're doing this?
Oh, of course. You know, Draven Crypt had to learn a lot of history, spent many times in the caves of Lorehold, digging up the happenings. You see, Valentine was a very ancient creature, going way, way, way back. In fact, he's got a whole stack of his notes buried away, and she points at this bookshelf. And it's a very deep bookshelf. It looks more like a deep storage cabinet with a box in it and papers that just go super deep.
You Goober gets a room?
Yeah, Goober gets a room. Mm-hmm.
Goober in.
I'm glad to have you aboard, Mr. Goober.
Which room, Goober?
Any of the doors that are open, I believe those are available. There are 4 others who have already accepted a similar invitation. They're already a part of the Extraordinary League. Now, with you 4, it makes 8. Only 4 more to go, I guess. But I would imagine you guys would meet and then head to the pep rally later this evening.
We just want to go see room.
Have at it. Is everybody else
just
on board?
takes off, like he's checking out, like looking into each one, like trying to figure out which one is the best out of all these rooms. Even though they look probably the same from one to the other, he's looking for the best one, and he wants to get it before anybody else because everybody is selfish and will take it away from Goober. So Goober has to get it first.
All right, Goober runs and gets his room. What say you, Kira?
You have intrigued me, so yes, I will join.
And that stack of books and papers in that cabinet are all yours to go through. Those are the old notes of Draven Cryft's team.
Her eyes widen.
Everything they investigated, every adventure they went on, all of it, well detailed.
I don't know if I'll be able to get through all of this and do my studies.
4 years of adventures is a long thing to get through, but I have a feeling that someone as studious as yourself, if what your father says about you is to be believed, will make short work of it. And as for you, our friend from Atheris.
How much will we get paid for this?
Oh, well, it depends. Some folk get paid for their adventures, other folk go on adventures just to help and save the realm. But naturally, if you go about helping folk, which this is what it is, you might run into a lucrative opportunity or two. But I do recommend that I see that you are scheduled as a groundskeeper for the campus. Yeah, you'll get paid for that.
From the open room that you just hear a little goblin feet running around in, is,
You get the big old room for yourself!
You do. You get a big old room for yourself. You would be in a public dormitory with other people in the same room if you would have roommates and shit if you went to a normal dorm.
I'm in.
All right. And for you, Ardbert.
What better way to help learn how to save my homeland than by solving a few crises here at school, right?
Indeed. And with that,
After we find them.
Kira, Tao Li, Ardberth, and Goober join the Magnificent Dozen, or was it the Extraordinary League of Students, or the Dastardly 12? I'm not really sure.
We're not care. Goober got own room.
In any case, they join, and you all level up to level 2, and that is the end of our session. For instructions on how to level up, simply click the anvil on your character sheet. You all should have selected manual HP, and now that we're in this mode, I need to log into 14. So I'm going to go do that real quick.
I already got it up, buddy.
Yeah.
Queue wasn't too long for me.
All right, so I need to log into 14 so I can show up to raid on time. But so I'm going to take it to FaceTime. Instructions on how to level. All you got to do is click that beautiful anvil at the top right of your character sheet. Click Go to Builder, and then you're